early. Come by one of our 11 area branches or apply online at neighborsfcu.org. Go free with Go Free checking from Neighbors Federal Credit Union. Insured by NCUA.
At Genesis of Baton Rouge, we know your time is valuable, so we have an ownership benefit designed to save time. Genesis Service Valet allows you to have your vehicle serviced without leaving your home or office. A valet will pick up your vehicle for maintenance and return it once it's done. Service Valet is available for 3 years or 36,000 miles with the purchase of a new Genesis. Visit genesisofbatonrouge.com today to explore our lineup and schedule your test drive. Luxury awaits. Genesis of Baton Rouge on Airline across from Women's Hospital.
Feeling off your game? Low T might be the culprit. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has your back. Revitalize your energy and your mood. Let Goodwood help you get back to peak performance. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Why do billion-dollar insurance companies regularly delay and deny valid claims? Because that's how they got to be billion-dollar insurance companies. If you've been injured, I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7969.
WNXX Jackson, KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers. LA 21-12681. Offices in Baton Rouge.
Good morning. It's 7 a.m. here on Thursday, February 6th. Today in Baton Rouge, you can expect mostly sunny skies with a high of 82 in hour one of today's show. We'll play some sound from Brian Kelly's press conference yesterday as he addressed the Greg Brooks situation and discussed his transfer portal class. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel. Hour number one of Off the Bench, live from Radio Row in New Orleans for Super Bowl 59, starts now.
Let's go, baby, let's go.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah, they said I gotta come off the bench.
Now, here's Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome in a brand new day of OTB here live from Radio Row. It is Thursday, and we are still sponsored by LeBair's Hotel Casino in Baton Rouge. Shout out to LeBair's for having us out here live on Radio Row in the Super Bowl. It's an incredible experience. It's been awesome. It's only getting increasingly awesome with each passing day. If you're watching on youtube.com/245 ESPN, you see that Jake is not next to me yet. Unfortunately, Jake seems to be a bit of a modern-day Jonah. If we all remember, he got stuck in all those awful travel hells in which everything was way overstuffed. They only had one lines open, like the TSA and everything. Well, the convention center security doing their best TSA impression today, despite the fact there's like 6 scanners open. They only have one line. So Jake, I believe he's in line. I think it starts or it ends around Gretna. So we hope to get Jake in here sometime in the first hour. All right, we got a really good show planned for you today. Let's start here though. I'm just gonna charge ahead with all the Greg Brooks stuff off the top. I want to be clear before I play the Brian Kelly sound. About how I feel about this. So if you missed it, Greg Brooks had and his family had an absolutely heartbreaking segment on Good Morning America where it shows what Greg has been through. And we can talk about that in a second. But within it, Greg's father says Brian Kelly's not been in touch with his son, in contact with his son since October of 2023. And that's what Brian Kelly was responding to. I gotta be so clear about this. I don't really care at all to argue about did Brian Kelly get in touch with me? Did he get in touch with me? To me, what we cannot lose sight of here, and the real hero and the real tragedy of this all is Greg himself. Do not use Greg as a launching pad to get your Kelly beef off your chest. And in the inverse, do not attack Greg because you want to defend Brian Kelly. It's the story here. What matters is what happened to Greg Brooks, a young man in his physical prime, leader, captain of the football team, who, in my opinion, I believe his situation was not handled correctly. But again, regardless, that is an opinion. The fact and the story and what matters here is that Greg Brooks was a young man in his physical prime, had the entire world in front of him. And he went in for a surgery in which he was told that it would not be, that he would be up and walking like within a day, right? Like he went in for a surgery that was not supposed to be life-altering, and yet he emerged on the other side after multiple strokes, unable to talk, unable to walk, unable to eat. And now this young man is pouring everything that he has in learning how to live once again, learning how to move once again, learning how to talk once again. Even listening to him in that interview, the fact that he's gotten where he's gotten to is impressive and heartbreaking. And I've seen a lot of people talking about online like, oh, well, once the family lured up, Brian Kelly has to stop talking to him. First off, saying it like lured up, like that's the wrong thing to do. What would any of y'all done? What would you do in the same situation? Everybody would do the exact same thing. This is every family's worst nightmare come to life. And yeah, of course, you feel wronged and slighted and misled. And like the people who did the surgery weren't qualified to do the surgery because look at what happened. And I'm not a doctor, so I don't know what the case is there. But to say that you wouldn't or that it's somehow wrong to, absolutely absurd. And yeah, if BK stopped talking to him after they lured up, I think that's awful too. So again, like I'll play the Brian Kelly sound. But I want you to know I don't care about it. All I care about and the story is Greg Brooks and what he went through and his continued road to recovery. And how can we support him? How can you support him? Are there GoFundMes? We'll look into it, find any links that we can. But if you have any of the family, friends, anything, like that's the story here is Greg's continued road to recovery. So, sorry, I had to get that off my chest. I feel like people are really losing the thread here when it comes to what matters in this story. All right. There's no way to, when you talk about something serious like this, there's no way to kind of let's just do the
easy
pivot.
transition.
Let's just do the pivot. Thank you, Jake. And there's Jake Hester. What's up, man? You got him from the Gretna security line?
Yeah, so, Bo, it's fine. Look, Bo, if somebody takes a picture of this credential and makes another credential out of it, I'm not going to get mad at him. I'm going to put him in the next Mission Impossible movie, okay?
True.
Because that is impressive. But I understand what you're saying, Bo.
This is a man who's been waiting in security, bro. A little testy. You can't be. Here you go. I got
Thank you, sir.
I got you a fresh big coffee.
This is our fourth. Bo, I love you. This is our fourth day here, and we get here and we walk right in, and so I'm just chilling, hanging out. And no, I walked to security today, and the back of the line is in the West Bank. So it took a minute. And then. God bless the guy in front of me. He was at least 104 if I had to put a year on it, and he had all the equipment. He had 7 batteries, 6 cameras, tripods, and everything, and he fumbled them about 6 times. So, but we're here. I should have just cut in line. I mean, Rivers was like in the front of the line when I walked by.
You barely missed me. You could have hopped in with me. Oh, wow. You didn't hop in with Rivers?
I was going to, and then I was like, I don't want to be the cutter.
Wow. Y'all both did that, which I guess speaks to your integrity, but at the same time, that's actually an interesting question. Is that cutting the line? If you have someone who is of your party, you're nodding vigorously, but people do this with family members all the time because you're
that's
not family.
True. Like in Disney, like if you were in line. I mean,
not even Disney, in the airport. If one person's waiting in line and then you're going to and the kid wants to come up, your wife wants to come up, you're going to say no? You're going to kick the wife to the back of the line?
I don't know. I am pretty bad. Like when I'm at the national championship game, this is funny that it came up. EJ and I were in line, and somebody, like they started a new line, and we were like 4th in line, and like the person that was 15th in line thought that they got to get in the line that just opened up next. And I was like, hold up, wait a minute. That ain't how that works. The people in front of me and EJ, they get to go because they're next in line. So.
Oh, yeah, when they open up a new line.
Yeah. So I think it's a little bit different scenario.
That's a little bit of a Wild West situation.
No, it ain't a Wild West. It's this person that's waiting next, they get to go, not 15 rows back.
Unless you are very active in enforcing that.
Oh, I'm active.
People will run and, first come, first serve, that second line.
I'm blocking that 15th person like they're rushing the passer.
My point is there's nothing wrong, especially in a Radio Row security line with hopping in with someone who is on your show.
I thought about it.
Who's already been waiting, and you're about to go on.
I even hit that second glance like,
I don't think it's wrong. I can't believe Rivers didn't invite you in the line. I think that's very wrong, personally, me.
No, there was no invitation for sure.
Unbelievable, dude. Unbelievable. It'd be your own people, guys. I agree. I don't think that's cutting. Chat, you can let me know whether or not we are really,
though. It just kind of tells you what it's going to be like in here today, at least.
I think so. But they only had one. They only had one gate open too, which I don't understand.
Just like the Atlanta airport.
So that's
when
what I
stuck.
said. And that's why I described you. I was like, it appears that Jake has a little bit of Jonah in him because the bad luck is following him around, just like the overstuffed airport in Atlanta.
You got 6 X-ray machines, metal detectors, and on Thursday of Media Row at the Super Bowl, you have a singular one open, and then you're getting mad that the line's getting long.
A bold choice.
Like you got 5 that aren't being used. Are those for looks? Are those paperweights? What are those for?
Oh, my God. I just got a text from my buddy who works for the Vikings, completely unrelated. He just got in town. Said, Bob, the security line is unlike anything I've ever seen. It looks like the Gaza border. Military's taking over Bourbon Street. So shout out, Glenn. I hope you get in here. All right.
Okay. Oh, proceed to the route. You see, you didn't know how to get to New Orleans?
I don't even know. I'm even confused. I don't keep my. I hate when that thing talks. All right. So here's what we are going to do.
Sorry for being late, though.
You weren't late. I mean,
kind of. That's the first time I've ever not been here for the open of the show. I feel like Flynn a little bit.
I remember back in the day when I first started here and everybody hated me. I woke up at like 6:55 one time. Got there at like 7:08. Just had an absolute panic. It was awful. I agree. Jake deserves a week off. Me personally, All right.
Deserve what?
It was a week off. All right, let's do this because I want to put a bow on this Greg Brooks thing because, again, I don't like how it's becoming an argument instead of like what it should be, which is just continue to pray for Greg, support Greg, like understand the heartbreak of his story, but also acknowledge his kind of heroism as he continues to fight every single day to learn how to move again, learn how to live again. But because he had the press conference yesterday, we'll end this segment with what Brian Kelly had to say, and then coming up next segment, we'll get into all of the actual football stuff, sports stuff. We'll really start the show in earnest. So here, just give me Kelly one. Just give me Kelly one.
I would be remiss if I did not address Greg Brooks Jr. and the situation that unfolded in a interview that was done on Good Morning America. There's many things I can't say because it is pending litigation, obviously. But here's what I can tell you. It is factually incorrect to state that I was not there by Greg's side through this ordeal. I was there on multiple occasions. We had somebody from my staff that was there virtually every single day. We love Greg. We love him for the person that he is, for the competitor that he is, and the battler that he is, and can only wish him continued progress as he goes through an incredibly difficult time.
So there you go. That's what Coach Brian Kelly said over his press conference yesterday. Now, when we get back here on Off the Bench, let's get into everything else, okay? He talked about the $1 million match, talked about the transfer portal, talked about the coaching hires, all of this and more coming up next. If you want to get involved, youtube.com/1045 ESPN. Keep it locked. We got a whole great 3 hours of Off the Bench plan for you guys. See you on the other side.
Off the Bench.
Hey, guys, go to Pelican Roof, pelicanroof.com. I don't care if you live in Baton Rouge or Lafayette. If you need a roof, you want Pelican Roof. Go find them on Facebook as well, where you can see all their great community initiatives. Last month, it was gym giveaway. They got a new one going down this February. Go check them out. And remember, with Pelican, you're dealing with the winners of the 2019 Better Business Bureau Integrity Award winners, because integrity is their core principle. to the core of everything that they do. It's their kind of leading light, right? And what that means is that the job is done correctly every single step along the way. They've dedicated employees every single step along the way. On the website, you can use their instant quote tool. It's great for immediately getting a ballpark of what you're dealing with. And then explore their financing options, okay? Great way to keep costs low while still getting that Pelican quality 0% APR financing for up to 21 months for those who qualify. Go to pelicanroof.com.
That's roofing, gutters, and sheet metal. And also remember, offices in Lafayette and Baton Rouge, so they are local in both of those communities, doing big things in those communities. pelicanroof.com.
On the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-11.
Something about the way she moved. I can't figure it out. It's something about her.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Live from Super Bowl 59 Radio Row in New Orleans. Presented by L'Auberge Casino Hotel, Baton Rouge.
Yo, what is going on? Welcome back to Radio Row, Off the Bench. By the way, guys, shout out to, we got the Floor Zamboni coming by. Hell yeah. Also, shout out to L'Auberge Casino Hotel Baton Rouge for having us here. I was just told something truly shocking. You've heard us talk about the Bounty paper towel activation here on Radio. I think that's what they call it when you do like some like pop-up tile event, right? Well, they've been handing out the free wings at 11 a.m. and they're good wings. 5 wings in each box. unlimited supply, seemingly. I don't know if this is true, but I was told that Bounty, that it's $4 a wing. Again. I mean, maybe like when you factor in like all the employees, costs, everything, that these things are being produced at $4 a wing. And I don't know, people may not realize this, Jake, because not a ton of people work in this profession. But there is not a group of human beings, maybe outside of like war refugees, that love free food as much as the media. I mean, the media are cockroaches.
Yeah. It's
parasites.
Hosts, it's producers. It's
everybody.
Everybody on the technical side, engineers. Engineers actually might be the number one.
Yeah.
I mean, Bo, do you agree with that? I mean, engineers love some free food.
Absolutely love it. And so if it's really $20, like you have 5 wings in each box, I mean, Bounty's probably, just $20,000 a day. I mean, who freaking knows?
I mean, I was co-hosting with Jeff Swartz, former offensive lineman, Oregon, NFL. Big guy. He knocked down 3 boxes yesterday, during the show.
Easy, bro.
Like slight work.
Easy. Oh, we'll get to light work eating. I had a dream come true yesterday. But before we get there, let's go ahead and get this show started.
It's time to get to work, courtesy of Tiger Labor and Staffing, where they can help take care of screening, training, payroll, and more. Now, for starters.
The shortest waiting period in the industry, Tiger Labor makes it easy to transfer top talent onto your payroll quickly. Tiger Labor personally vets your workforce, solve all your staffing needs, whether short or long term. And remember, guys, they're not just forwarding resumes to you, but interviewing and dispatching in person every morning at 5 a.m. All right, let's go ahead then, guys, and let's get into some of this Brian Kelly sound. He talked about everything. First off, let's just start with the portal. Obviously, a massive haul, 8 of the top 100 players. That's the most in the FBS. The number 1 portal class. Here, give me Kelly 3 here. Brian Kelly on the 25 portal class.
We had 16 total transfers come in, 8 on offense, 7 on defense, and 1 special teams player. And we're pretty excited about that. They give us a experienced group that has played high-level football and blends to the existing program that we have. So from that perspective, combined with 3 straight top 10 high school signing classes, we wanted now to enter into adding to that roster. And I think we addressed it, and we believe that this group now is such that we can compete for a championship.
There you go. So he's meeting the expectations head on, and make no mistake, those should be the expectations. There are no excuses. These last couple of years, although I'm not saying, I understand if you never agree, if you haven't agreed with some of these sentiments, but the last couple of years, you could always point to one thing or another as maybe an explanation for why things aren't quite where they should be, but there's nothing left. As he said, 3 top 10 high school classes in a row, now infused with the number 1 portal class in a row. You bring in Alex Atkins. You bring in this entire defensive staff last year. Every piece is in place. If you cannot compete for a championship this year, I don't think you ever will.
Man, it sounds crazy to hear someone say that, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because of all the things that you've done. And the one thing you didn't do was attack the portal. You realized it. You admitted it. You're like, hey, we kind of misjudged what we needed to do. And I think there was some worry about the locker room, T. I think that was because, Brian Kelly's been doing this for, 4 decades, and there was some worry of, man, if I bring in too many people, what's it going to do to the locker room? And I think coaches are figuring out this is a different generation of player. If you would have brought in 10 new players when you and I were playing, I think it would have been awkward. Yeah. There would have been some chemistry issues because, it just didn't happen. And it was like, hey, we're loyal. We're loyal maybe to a fault. If you ain't one of us, just go ahead and get out of here. Well, now, and you'll see it on social media, when somebody leaves an LSU or when they come to, whatever, players that are on LSU are like, hey, man, good luck. Go get yours. Or best of luck in the upcoming spot, where I'd have been like, the hell you leaving us for?
Yeah,
that's not it anymore. That's just not the feeling. And so it's just – and I'm not saying right, wrong, or indifferent. That's just the way it is now. And so I think that Brian Kelly and the staff realized, we can bring in 10 to 12 new players, and it's not going to really change the dynamic of the locker room because this generation of player just expects it to happen now. And so when a player comes in, they're like, all right, well, you're our boy now. We're seeing it across college football. I mean, look at Riley Leonard, right? He gets to Notre Dame in the spring, can't even go through spring practice, doesn't work with his team with pads on until fall camp, and they go and play for a national championship. So I think that this staff realized that you can bring in new talent from everywhere across the country and still have that chemistry that you're looking for in the locker room. And so now that's why you have, 8 top 100 players that are going to be beneficial for you in positions of need.
So it's definitely a strategic change to go after the players. Also, it took a monetary investment change. And
True.
One of the ways in which they created some of that money here recently was with the $1 million match, which Brian Kelly pledged $1 million of his own dollars to go to things like facilities and back to the school for every new bit of grassroots funding that came in. Of course, another secret donor walked in and agreed to do it as well. This is Kelly 4 on how the $1 million match wasn't effective.
We're very appreciative of our fans and the generosity. The $1 million match that I put out there relative to NIL, it looks like we've met our goals, and I couldn't be more excited about that and the direction that allows us to continue to move relative to NIL. So we had an anonymous gift that matched it in its totality, plus I think there'll be a release here in the next 48 hours that we also were able to match the initial NIL.
Coach Kelly's Boston came out there for a $1 million match. But, yeah, I mean, look, man, it was very effective. As we said, it went from making LSU one of the schools that kind of had the least to spend to all of a sudden maybe having more grassroots funding than anybody in the entire country. Shout out to our awesome Louisiana State Troopers keeping us safe here in the convention center. Just brought us by some awesome State Trooper patches as well. All right, here's what Brian Kelly – so Alex Atkins comes over from Florida State. He was OC last year with disastrous. You clean everybody underneath Norvell. You end up adding him in as a tight ends coach, but this is a very good O-line coach, a very good offensive coordinator, man who understands the run game, Jake, something that LSU really struggled at.
Yeah, we talked about yesterday.
Here's what Brian Kelly had to say about Alex Atkins' role as run game coordinator.
First of all, excited about Alex. He brings a great deal of experience as a coordinator, but more importantly, his depth and background in the run game. As an offensive line coach, he adds another perspective in that room with Brad. He will not be stepping on Brad's toes. Brad's done an incredible job. This is really having somebody that will coach the tight ends and have a specific focus towards our run game and how it marries and matches to what I'm looking for within our overall offensive structure. So having somebody that is dedicated to that, having somebody that has his eye on it every day, I felt where we are today that was a great need, and to get somebody with his kind of experience in building run games in particular. So the need, the timing, all of those things make it a great fit.
So, Jake, one thing that I find to be interesting here is, and this is no disrespect to tight end coaches, but in-game coaching, I feel like tight end coaches a lot of times don't have the most to do necessarily.
Boy, you better hope Slinger don't hear you say that.
Bro, he literally would – no, he would probably back it up, because when Stud went to OC and got bumped up to the booth, Slinger was just like, oh, well, hell, I'll coach you a line during the game. No. So whatever. I guess the point is, during the game, he can be really focused on what's going on and strategically what can we pull out of our run game to try to have success, more so than a Brad Davis who's got to worry about, having all 5 guys. Okay, what are we seeing? What's here? Yeah. It's a pretty nice, really kind of puzzle piece. Feels like a nice slot in.
Yeah, and I bet that those tight ends are going to be in the offensive line room a lot and kind of like some combo meetings. It's not to say that, Trudez Green won't go to a receiver meeting. I mean, he probably will at some point. But the tight end group, before we get to the O-line stuff, it's really important that they have a big year.
Yes.
You lost Mason Taylor. That is a massive loss. And then you kind of have some pieces of you got a true Y. You've kind of got Sharp, who's a little bit of a Y and an F. And then you got Green, who is a true F. He's not ever going to be a Y. And that's not throwing slight invited him. I think that's a good thing. I think it's good that you have 3 different tight ends that are going to play. So you do have some work to do in your own room to make sure everybody's ready to go because of what you lost. But also you can, like you said, not throwing shade at the tight end coach, but you can help out with the offensive line because a lot of times they're an extension of the offensive front. And then, you know, when you're sitting there, and I would assume he's going to be up top and Brad Davis is probably going to be on the field, like you're looking at the totality of the run game, and the tight ends are going to be included in that. And so you can kind of eye hustle all of it at one time with somebody that was a rising star in college football before he kind of had to fall on the sword because Florida State was so bad. I mean, Mike Norvell's like, I ain't going nowhere. Somebody's got to go, and it's going to be both coordinators, which is unfortunate because just a year ago, that was somebody that we were talking about being one of the true, like, rising stars. He'll get a head coaching opportunity here pretty soon, and then the year that they had, he kind of was the guy that had to unfortunately lose his job.
Well, I mean,
fortunate for us, maybe.
They go from, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Right?
Feels right.
Isn't that the old saying?
Feels right.
I mean, it's not, it's a tough job as an OC. Now, granted, they probably should have done better, but it's a tough job as an OC when they turn Jordan Travis into DJ Uiagalelei and say, hey, do the same thing. I mean, that's a tough sell. All right, last one here before we go to break. Again, not shying away from the expectation. Kelly 7 on what the portal plan was.
The big picture plan is exactly what you said. It was to surround Garrett on offense, to give Blake the pieces that he needs on defense to have a championship roster. And I believe we did that on paper. Now we need to go to work on that, and that work is in the details over the next few months.
So there you go. On paper, they have crafted the team. Now they have to go get it done on the field where it matters. All right, check it out, guys. Let's go ahead and go to break. I still got a lot more Kelly sound that I want to get to and that we will get to. So keep it locked right here on Off the Bench. Coming up next, more Brian Kelly from his press conference yesterday.
Off the Bench.
To remind you about Boudreaux's Electrical. Go to boudreauxelectrical.com if you are in the market for a Generac home generator. Boudreaux's are your experts. They are a family-run business that are customer first. They stay on top of your system 24/7 to make sure your generator is good to go when you need it. And we understand. Look, we understand this is a big investment, but that's why we commit ourselves to making sure that it's always ready so you keep the lights on. We would also like to say that right now Boudreaux's Electrical is hiring electricians. So if you want to work for a family-owned and operated company with a great culture, very competitive wages, go to boudreauxelectrical.com and you can apply there.
And if you want to know what kind of people they are there at Boudreaux's, what kind of business they run at Boudreaux's, whether you're trying to get work done or you're trying to go work for them, just type it into the old search engine. You are going to see on Google 5.0 reviews, and this is climbing every single day. You'll see exactly what we're talking about. It was in the 45s in Mobile. It's already up to like 56 here just a week later of the reviews on Google. Boudreaux'Electrical.com.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There's never been a better time to catch a John Deere deal from the crew of Sunshine. Ask us about our low monthly payment options on our tractor packages and let the good times roll. With equipment strong enough to power one of the world's largest celebrations, we've got your needs covered too. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Offer ends March 5th, 2025.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner.
Yo, this is why Clef Refugee Cat, Risewell, Little Bass sitting up here on the bass. While I'm on this road, I got my girl L. One time. Hey yo L, you know you got the lyrics.
I heard he sang a good song. I heard he had a style.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Live from Super Bowl 59 Radio Row in New Orleans. Presented by L'Auberge Casino Hotel Baton Rouge.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back. Off the Bench here live at Radio Row. Shout out L'Auberge Casino Hotel Baton Rouge for having us out here. All right, let's continue to break down some of this Brian Kelly sound, guys. He had a 28-minute press conference yesterday, kind of a State of the Union here. After signing day was yesterday, right? I guess that's what it actually is.
Kind of-ish.
Completely forgot.
I mean, almost, sort of. I was talking, every guest we had on yesterday over on Sirius, I was kind of like, hey, today's, National Signing Day. And everybody's like, no, it's not. I'm like, yeah, no, it's the second one. It's like, it's the one that we all signed with. And so I made them give me, like, their recruiting day story and then, like, where they were going to go if they didn't go to their school. And I never really knew this. E.J. Manuel. Mm-hmm. Second choice, LSU.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where's he from originally?
Virginia Beach.
Okay. Is that in Virginia? The sad part is, I know it's like probably in Florida because he went to Florida State.
It's in Virginia.
I have no idea where Virginia Beach is.
No, from Virginia Beach, Virginia.
They have beaches in Virginia.
And, no, he was going – if Jimbo
is Virginia
probably
on the coast?
Would have stayed. Yeah.
What?
Right? I mean, Bo, I'm not crazy. Okay.
For real?
Yeah.
Another new geography fact learned, guys. There you go. I had no idea. I assumed you were talking about Virginia Beach, Florida.
But Virginia Beach, Florida.
Yeah.
Say that again just to yourself.
No, hey, you know what? Look, let's get back to Kelly, dude.
Real quick. Can you imagine, if E.J. Manuel would have signed in the 07 or 08 class, either way.
Oh, is that when it was?
Yeah, he would have been the quarterback in 2011.
Unfortunately, I don't know how different it would have been. You know what I'm saying? I just mean in that our offense was not
I do hear what you're saying.
It was not set up to make anybody successful.
Yeah.
He was awesome.
Yeah, he would have been better maybe than.
But he also had Jimbo at the height of his offensive prowess.
Yeah,
we did not.
That's true.
All right. Speaking of quarterbacks, one of the sneaky, interesting additions of the offseason was Michael Van Buren coming over from Mississippi State. Here's Brian Kelly 9, on what was the idea behind adding Van Buren.
Michael is a young man that has SEC experience, and we wanted to supplement that in our room. If you're going to go out and upgrade your roster in the manner that we did, continue to develop your football team, I think we all know that at some time, number 2 may have to be called upon. And if he does, we feel like we've got in Colin and certainly with Michael, we've got 2 guys that can go in and continue to compete for a championship.
Well, and that's really smart, man. It's almost like, look, I've made a very big investment, and I want a little bit of insurance.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? It's a literal football insurance policy with the added upside of, like, he did flash very nicely a couple times as a true freshman in the SEC, and so maybe he does end up becoming the next guy.
Was it the Georgia game?
Yeah, 303 touchdowns.
That he had a big day, and it's kind of like with Swan last year. You bring him in because it's a just in case if Nussmeier would have gone down. But I think this player certainly has a higher ceiling than A.J. Swan had. And it's somebody that is, capable of running almost whatever offense you want to put with him in there. I think he can be a dual threat guy. He showed you he can throw for 300-plus yards against Georgia. So if you can convince somebody like that to walk away from being the starting quarterback at another SEC school and you can add him to your roster, like, I'm not saying that he is going to be the best quarterback in the conference or maybe even ever a starter at LSU, but if that guy wants to come to your school, you're going to give him a scholarship every time.
All right, let's then so we've talked a lot about the transfers, how good the class is. Brian Kelly, this is Kelly 10. Which transfers are standing out here early on in the process?
Experience at the tight end position to marry with a really exceptionally young player in Tradez, but bringing in Bauer Sharp, who's got a lot of experience and, a veteran kind of presence there at the tight end position. He's been outstanding. I think Jack Pyburn brings more than just his ability on the field, but how he impacts everybody in the locker room and in the weight room. His demeanor, his attitude is infectious. I think those 2 guys. And I'd say, Mansour Delant has been very, very, I think, impactful at the cornerback position. We've got some younger guys, some guys with experience, but we don't have a veteran player back there. And his leadership and just the way he's handled himself has been outstanding.
You can already feel the Pyburn psycho white boy element all the way from over here. Attitude in the weight room and kind of infectious energy. What's going to be interesting, Jake, is sometimes 2 people start riffing. They can reinforce one another. Him and Whit Weeks both bringing that same kind of energy, trying to outdo one another. Who knows how crazy you could end up getting on that side of the ball.
You need, with you, Puppy, you said this a couple weeks ago, you need enough of those.
Yeah.
LSU has the perfect amount.
Maybe. They're bordering on too much.
You can't have too many.
They're bordering on, you got 3 weeks, brothers.
They're whispering on the line of having too many. But it feels like it's just enough to, kind of put together with all the other great athletes that you have here. And, look, all jokes aside, though, like, Whit Weeks is a really athletic human being.
Yeah.
Like, he's not your typical, jack of all trades, master of none, weight room warrior, film. He's not like – he's probably all those things. But also, like, we've seen him close, right, when a quarterback's been open field and he's made up that space. And so it does feel like a great combination of what you're looking for, because I think you do need some grit on the edge. Like, Savion Jones gave you that. He gave you, hey, I'm not here to get 10 sacks. I am here to hold the point, keep contained, be really good in the run game. And sure, I'm going to have, a handful of sacks, but I am here for a job, and I'm going to do my job, and you do need some of that at edge because you lost it.
Now, one element, if you were to say, okay, championship roster, everything looks so good, they should be for championship next year. If you were going to say that there was one element that could potentially be the fly in the ointment, it would probably be the offensive line, given all the turnover. I like what they have, but it's a bit of an experience. It's replacing a ton of starters that have been out there forever. Here's Kelly 18 on what he views this spring portion is going to be like for said O-line.
We can start with in the portal, Braylon Moore and Josh Thompson will be part of that mix in the spring. But it's important to point out that, there's going to be great competition. And you saw that in the bowl game, how really if you look across the board, Miles Frazier is the only player that does not return in that unit. So all of those guys will get the opportunity to compete. Plus the two that I've mentioned that were starters both at Virginia Tech and Northwestern, we think that makes for a very competitive spring.
Yeah, so again, competitive spring, right? This is going to be where guys decide pole position for those starting jobs going into fall camp. It is the position group that I think I will most have eyes on this spring, as it is the position group that could likely well decide the eventual ceiling and or floor of this LSU football team. So excited to see what those guys can do.
It's kind of it's an unknown because you just don't know where everybody's going to be slotted. But I want to ask you real quick before we take this break, how confident are you with the additions that they made and seeing the players that played against Baylor and how successful they were? Like, what's your confidence level maybe now compared to when we had the conversation before the bowl game?
Well, much more so because of how well the boys played in the bowl game. And then, like you said, adding the experience, because really experience is the only thing that they were missing in the bowl game. You added experience in the portal. You saw the talent in the bowl game. And look, eventually it's got to be your first time to play, Doesn't mean you're not going to be good. Yeah, you're going to get better over time. The one thing I'm worried about, I think it's impossible to not take a step back when it comes to pass protection. But adding Alex Atkins, increased emphasis on we have to get more creative, more successful in the run game. Like, you may take a step back in the pass blocking, but you could potentially take a step forward run blocking. So I'm much more, to your point, I'm much more confident than I was pre-bowl game because I thought the boys played really well, despite, really only having like a little mini camp to get ready for the game.
Yeah, and I'll thank Miles Frazier for sticking around, mentoring those players for 15 practices, bettering himself, sure, but it was a very unselfish move for him to have that role because I do think it pays off not only in that game but in this upcoming season.
So here it is. Brian Kelly meeting with the media yesterday. Look, LSU's had a very good offseason. Now they have to have a very good season, which we'll continue to break down over the next 8 months of our lives, 7 months, I guess, at this point. Also, real quick on Colin Hurley, there's no timetable on Colin Hurley. I remember he got in a car accident. He is recovering in Jacksonville. Again, expected to make a full recovery. All right, when we get back, we got Pelican news, other stuff to get to. Keep it locked here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Atmos Energy, our Smart Choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
There's never been a better time to catch a John Deere deal from the crew of Sunshine. Ask us about our low monthly payment options on our tractor packages and let the good times roll. With equipment strong enough to power one of the world's largest celebrations, we've got your needs covered too. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Offer ends March 5th, 2025.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them.
Yeah, this one right here goes out to all the babies, mamas. Baby mamas.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob. Live from Super Bowl 59 Radio Row in New Orleans. Presented by L'Auberge Casino Hotel Baton Rouge.
Man, give me all them fix. What's happening, y'all? Welcome back. Radio Row brought to you by L'Auberge Hotel Casino. Shout out to L'Auberge for having us out here. Jake, so I mentioned yesterday that we were talking about food, and I had, such a great meal yesterday in that regard. So after I got done with work yesterday, I was heading back to my dad's, and, you got to pass through Mid-City to get there. And so I was like, oh, man, you know what? I'm going to, stop at Bayou Beer Garden. I'm going to grab a beer, maybe get some of their, bar food or whatnot. And because when I lived here in my 20s, Bayou Beer Garden, I lived a little bike ride away. Used to go there all the time. That was my version of Cheers, right? Lived there, knew all the staff, loved everybody.
When you walk in, did they say T-Bob?
Yeah, exactly,
okay,
right? And I used to watch all the Saints games there. And my guy Big Andy used to cook crawfish in the backyard. And he had a catering business, but he just set up his own little rig out there. And he always had these big, but they're just the best crawfish I've ever had in my entire life. Well, I've been out of the city now for 6-7 years, something like that. And a lot, I don't know the city really at all anymore. It's funny. A lot of people come into town what should we do? I'm like, guys, I got to be completely honest. I'm not here that much anymore. Yeah. And so I just assumed that Big Andy was no longer boiling bugs at Bayou Beer Garden. Well, there I am. I walk outside in the backyard. I order a beer and start sniffing the air. I'm like, hold up now. That smells good. You know, in a cartoon when you have the smell lines wafting through the air and they pick up the guy by his nostrils and you kind of float over to it. So I'm like, okay, somebody's burling back here. And sure enough, I get back there and there he is. My guy, Big Andy, only now it's official. He has a full, pop-up wooden little house. They turned the old parking lot into more seating. He's still burling him. and I took down 2 boxes, I don't know, probably 5-6 pounds, double fixins, 2 sausages, 4 patatas, 2 corns.
Jesus.
I ate it in about 5 minutes. I was sweating, snot dripping out of my nose. I had white pants on. I had crawfish grease all over him. I was eating alone, bent over in the corner, hunched over, watching a World of Warcraft YouTube video on my phone, and I've never been happier in my entire life. God, it was good, dude. So I guess the point of all this is, if you want some good bugs, no free advertising, but it was a really, like, great, heartfelt moment to see that Big Andy still borrowed the bugs. It's the best crawfish I've ever had. I've always said it. And it still is. It's still just as good. As
I talked to you right after that. I could hear the glee in your voice yesterday.
Yeah, I know. I called I called you, I called Rivers, I called Joey, I called a few people to try to come eat with me, and nobody did. So I was like, all right, y'all's lost it. And I just sat there. You were working.
Yeah, to be fair, I live here in the convention center.
Yeah, that's true.
Until like 5:30.
I did not call you Alondra. That's right. I apologize. That's true. I figured you were still working as well.
She was, because I brought EJ over to her after our show to film some content. So she was working.
But yeah, man. Ooh, God, I love them bugs and them fixins. These are some big bugs too, dude. LSU basketball drops their 5th straight game. How about it? They made 9 threes in the first half, Jake. They forced 10 turnovers. They were still down 37-31.
Cool.
Still lost 81-62. The state of basketball in Louisiana, if it was not for Kim Mulkey, would be that of a desert, right? Where oceans once rained and there used to be water in supply, but it's dried up. I mean, the Pelicans and the LSU men's basketball team are pathetic. Thank God for the LSU women's basketball team, who you can catch tonight at Mizzou, 6:30 p.m., and then home against Tennessee this Sunday at 3 p.m., which, my God, that's bad scheduling, dude. What are we doing, dude? This is a massive matchup of 2 of the best teams in the entire country.
Yeah.
Tennessee with their new crazy way of playing where they do like full hockey line shifts, and it's pressing, it's high speed, high scoring, and it's at 3 p.m. before the Super Bowl. Guys, what are we doing, dude?
Maybe I'm trying to think, like maybe like a
little appetizer. It's in the PMAC though, so if you want to go.
Yeah, I mean you can get there and get home.
Yeah, a little
before
warm
the game starts.
A little warm up.
You just got to have all your Super Bowl party stuff planned before.
It's just a bummer because this game's on a Thursday night. That's a sold out crazy PMAC, and that's what it needs to be for Tennessee. So we'll
maybe
see.
Like a 1 o'clock tip. Can we change?
I know. I mean, come on now. That's what I'm freaking saying, dude. But either way. Shout out to LSU women. They'll be at Mizzou 6:30 tonight, and then home against Tennessee this Sunday. And yes, I said LSU basketball on purpose. I will not grant them the rank of a B.
Yeah.
Until they win.
I thought it was beautiful.
5 in a row. Now lost in the SEC.
Yeah, it looked good till halftime. It didn't.
I mean, to play that well and still be losing, it's like so depressing.
Yeah.
All right, coming up next hour on OTB, we got some Saints news. We got Mark Roman coming up. I got Chad Johnson with a very interesting tweet. We got a lot to get to. Oh, and Pelicans made a trade. Brandon Ingram over. More to be coming up.
Off the bench.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary. For those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
There's never been a better time to catch a John Deere deal from the crew of Sunshine. Ask us about our low monthly payment options on our tractor packages and let the good times roll. With equipment strong enough to power one of the world's largest celebrations, we've got your needs covered too. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Offer ends March 5th, 2025.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. here on Thursday, February 6th. Today in Baton Rouge, you can expect mostly sunny skies with a high of 82. In hour 2 of today's show, we'll talk about the big trade made by the New Orleans Pelicans as they send away one of their superstars. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench, live from New Orleans at Radio Row for Super Bowl 59, starts now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Dude, they said I got to come off the bench.
Now, here's Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to OTB here live on Radio Row at the Super Bowl. Shout out to the Bears Hotel Casino Baton Rouge for having us out here. Another great day here on Radio Row. Things are heating up. Super Bowl's right around the corner. Can't wait for the game. Jake, how's Super Bowl radio been going?
It's been going great. It's one of those shows, T, that it's a lot of work, but because there's so many moving parts and you're thrown into interviews that are actually taking place live, maybe across the set. You got guests kind of coming in for 6 minutes, they leave, and then somebody else comes in for 5 minutes. You don't even get to say bye. It's like a transition to kind of the next one. So it's like air traffic control, and then you'll have a segment where you just kind of pick a topic and talk about the game or whatever for 10 to 12 minutes. So for all that goes on, it does move fast because, well, you don't have really time to take a deep breath.
So yesterday you got to interview Moose Johnston.
Yep.
You got to interview Jerome Bettis, the boss.
Yep.
And Marshall Falk, dude.
Yeah.
Let's go.
It was, man.
It was the best.
You talk about somebody who grew up, I was born in 85, so growing up in the 90s, and I got all three of those guys in one day and got to just sit there and talk ball with all three of them. It's going to be tough. It is going to be tough to beat that. And I got a chance to, have my LSU brethren as well. JD5 yesterday, going to have Malik today, and I love my LSU brothers. Always a pleasure to interview them, but Moose Johnston's he's probably number 3 on the board of people that I wanted to interview in my career, so I can go ahead and check that one off.
Hell yeah, dude. Bucket list item accomplished. All right, before we get into the Brandon Ingram trade, Jake, do you have any more kind of Super Bowl fun facts or storylines? I mean, yesterday we did a lot on Patrick Mahomes, how unbelievable he's been. We talked about really all the elements of play, kind of what's been facing Jalen Hurts, the narratives there.
Right.
Where 2 years ago he's on the edge of a Super Bowl. He drops that ball. It's the only mistake he made all night, but that one mistake ends up being the difference. Now he has a chance to finally be the bride after always being the bridesmaids. What storylines and factoids have you all been playing with?
I think one of the ones that is fascinating when you get into the debate of greatest of all time, well, we have that with quarterbacks. And Mahomes and Brady, and what can Mahomes do if he wins this Super Bowl, the only quarterback to win 3 in a row. But I also find it interesting for Andy Reid.
True.
Because if
we don't talk about that.
Andy Reid wins, he'll be, of course, the first coach to win 3 in a row, but also it'll be his 4th Super Bowl. So the only people that are going to have 4 or more Super Bowls, of course, Belichick had 6,
Yep.
Chuck Noll had 4 as well. So for me, is Andy Reid 1B if he wins this Super Bowl?
Yeah.
I mean, Chuck Noll, what he did, he won 4 in 6 years. Remarkable. But it's a different time in the NFL. I would argue it's more difficult now to win because of the parity, the salary cap, and all the ways you can acquire players. Yes.
No free agency. If you draft right, you are just set for life because you own the players.
So, I think Andy Reid, if he wins this one, he's putting himself in rarefied air. That's a conversation to me after having, I don't want to say struggles because he won so many games in Philly, but he couldn't get over the hump.
Yeah.
Right? He went to 4 straight NFC championship games. He only has Super Bowls in Kansas City. They could never figure it out in Philly. Remember, it was Doug Peterson that figured it out in Philly. So it's a pretty cool redemption story. I think he belongs in the conversation with the Bill Belichick because as great as Bill was, Bill did have it over this 20-year run. Who's to say that Andy Reid's done right now? And sure, he's got a generational quarterback just like Tom Brady, but you kind of have to have that guy.
Yeah, you got to have that guy. And it's collaborative, dude. It's freaking football. It's
let's think about our conversation on whatever day that was. I don't even know what day today is. Early in the week. The teams that have gone back-to-back, Green Bay, Bart Starr. Miami had Bob Greasy.
Yep.
The Broncos had Elway. The 49ers had Joe Montana. The Cowboys had Troy Aikman.
Oh, yeah, the Niners also had Joe Montana into Steve Young.
Yes. The Steelers, they had Terry Bradshaw.
Yep.
So all of these dynasties.
And then Ben Roethlisberger.
Eli, had 2 there, not in back-to-back years. But my point is, you have to, as a pet, you have to have that kind of quarterback to be able to do these things. So I wouldn't put that against the coach is my point.
No, you can. No, that's
like
stupid.
Every team that has won back-to-back Super Bowls has had a quarterback that's probably got a gold jacket on.
And also, Jake, there's been a lot of Hall of Fame quarterbacks that didn't win championships.
Stay in the man.
So it's collaborative. At the end of the day, these things are. It is fascinating to think about the difference that a few years has made, Jake, when it comes to Andy Reid. I had to consider that because you're so right. I mean, pre-Kansas City, Andy Reid was viewed as a good coach, but not a great coach.
Right.
Just was never going to be able to win the big game. Very good at getting there. He was like a more evolved version of Marvin Lewis. He was good at getting a step farther than Marvin was, but he was never going to do it. And looking at nobody thinks about it anymore. I mean, he's viewed as hands down the best football mind in the entire world.
Yeah. He was like Marv Levy a little bit.
Yes.
Bills to 4 straight Super Bowls, but had nothing to show for it.
And
we don't talk about Marv Levy ever. Like when we're talking about greatest coaches, this man took his team to the Super Bowl 4 straight years in a stacked AFC at the time.
Yeah.
And has nothing to show for it as far as titles, so we don't even mention his name. We don't whisper his name.
God, that's so true. I mean, but those are the stakes when you're talking about championships, and that's what we always talk about, right? Immortality. And it doesn't matter. Like, okay, Nick Sirianni, Jalen Hurts, you're the first Philadelphia quarterback coach duo to make multiple Super Bowls. That's awesome. Guess what? You don't win it. Ultimately, it's going to fall flat and fall short. Hey, guys, look, if I'm looking around this room right now, seeing a lot of limp boys, okay? If you are suffering from ED, if that is Will Levis, I know he's not.
No, that's,
but if you are.
I believe that's Trey McBride.
Who?
Tight end for the Cardinals.
Oh. How do you know that?
I don't know.
I mean, why do you know Trey McBride's face? Like, knowing about the existence of Trey McBride,
Yeah, he's a good player. He had a crazy year. And, like, only had one touchdown, though. Like, crazy catches and yards, but, like, only found the end zone once.
Then again, to be fair, the Cardinals kind of, I don't know. The Cardinals feel like they had an invisibility cloak on this year. Like, I'm not sure. Like I forgot about Jonathan Gannon until we made that joke yesterday about explosives and everything. I just forgot about the Arizona Cardinals in general.
Boo, boo.
Pew, pew, pew. Anyway, go to yourgoodwood.com and get hard, guys, okay? We're done suffering from erectile dysfunction, letting that embarrass us, and then letting that embarrassment stop us from getting it fixed, therefore creating a vicious cycle in which the embarrassment feeds itself like a snake eating its own tail. Break the cycle, chop off the head of the snake, get your snake back. You know, you go to like some ancient Eastern medicine, they might tell you to take in some snake venom. None of that, okay? You go to Goodwood, and they're going to put together a plan to get you where you want to be. If you think you might be low T, anything like that, we got you as well. Look, all your anti-age achievements, hair, whatever, penile enhancement, all at Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Go to yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com. All right, Jake, so yesterday the New Orleans Pelicans were in the news as I was actually with Dem Snow last night. We went to watch Joey Molinaro and Rachel Bonetta do stand-up at a place called Sports Drink here, which is a great little coffee club bar thing, really intimate, really cool, right there off a magazine. It's also kind of the home of probably the most Pelicans fans ever. And we were there when the news broke that Brandon Ingram had been traded to the Toronto Raptors. That's right, the Pelicans traded Brandon Ingram for Bruce Brown, Kelly Olynyk, and a first and second round pick, dude. Kelly Olynyk has killed the Pelicans multiple times.
No matter what team.
That said, and look, the move had to be made, okay? And I applaud the move in the way that you applaud something that had to be done, even if it still sucks. But my God, this sucks. What a wet fart ending to the original vision that David Griffin had for Brandon Ingram. He was going to be the cornerstone upon which he rebuilt this New Orleans Pelican franchise. I saw the most depressing pictures today of Brandon Ingram, Zion Williams, from the cover of Slam magazine. It's Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, Drew Holiday, and Lonzo Ball. And that's the thing. All those players are like kind of good. I guess Lonzo's gone on to be hurt, but Drew's gone on to be absolutely incredible. I mean, you look at like Najee Marshall, AD now, and it's just so many good players have come through, left, so many different combinations, and it just never worked. Injuries never work. I mean, that is the sound. That right there is the sound that defines the David Griffin era of the Pelicans. How about this? Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, and Dejounte Murray never played a single game together. Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson both arrived in New Orleans in 2019, Jake. They only played 154 games together. They played 5.5 seasons together and played less than 2 full seasons on the court at the same time. I mean, it just the vision was just constantly beset by injuries. And I really loved Brandon Ingram. Again, my biggest gripe with him would be a bit of a toughness situation in that, like, when he got hurt, maybe, he'd have to be like 100% before he came back. But he's a two-a-days all year round. Like, he's a basketball. Like, he worked his ass. He was very good when he played, but ultimately it just ends in I got 2 Brandon Ingram jerseys at home, man.
Ooh.
And ultimately it ends in Bruce Brown, Kelly Olynyk, and a 1 and a 2.
Yeah. Olynyk's like a good player, but he is what he is. you didn't get anybody that's going to change your team this year by any means. I don't really know what the draft choices are going to be. This was just hey, we got to trade this guy who's willing to give us something. And you wanted a first-round pick, so I guess you got that.
You got that.
So, but in basketball, what does that really mean? I mean, outside
the
like
Pelicans have drafted all right, to be
outside
fair,
of the top
but
10,
yeah,
typically
it's a huge gamble.
just a guy.
Yeah, it's a huge gamble. So I don't know, man. What a sad ass era.
Yeah.
Of the New Orleans Pelicans. Like I don't know how y'all feel out there who about this team, but like I used to love this team. I used to, when I lived here, I remember going to these games every single night, or as much as I could with friends. I remember watching on TV every night. I remember trying to convince people as they're battling for A seeds, look, this team's worth watching. They're on the rise. They're young. They're exciting. I remember the AD drama then with the subsequent almost ray of sunshine from heaven when you get the first overall pick, and here's Zion, and here's David Griffin. He's so loquacious, it's all going to work. And you actually have a team. I remember sweeping the Blazers in the AD era. Like, and these last 3 to 4 years, really the Zion era, half a decade of just absolute trash, absolute garbage. I mean, I guess you did have the run against the Suns in which things got exciting for a little bit again, but
yeah, but with that roster, those players in their prime, you don't have an excuse not to at least make a true, real run where you were like a 3 seed and you made it to the conference finals at least. Like that's a lot of wasted generational talent that you either had on your roster or you traded away to get the players that you brought back.
And it's just
there's no excuse.
I just don't know. The road looks so dark ahead, right? Because David Griffin's got to be out. Unfortunately, although I believed in Willie Green a lot of times, he's probably got to be out
too. Yeah.
Like you can't let Griff do another hire. You can't let Griff do another pick. Like, how quickly can you turn around? Can you turn around? And then you look at the ownership group that it's tied with, and what they're doing with the New Orleans Saints currently, and how they've screwed up the Pelicans in the past. And it's like, okay, well, how do you? It's just, where is the hope? I guess is my point. These last 5 years have been a literal dismantling of my passion, brick by brick. And it doesn't seem like the players care. It doesn't seem like the owners care. They're more worried about the Saints. Where is the hope for the New Orleans Pelicans?
And they're more worried about them, but we're worried about the Saints and the Pelicans.
A little tired, says to be fair, they did win 49 games last year, but the West is so deep it didn't matter. That's true, but then I think you're right. Like, that is a good point. I think my problem there is just how awful they were in the playing games.
Yeah.
Playing game, where you had a chance to make something of that season and you fell apart. I love the NBA. I want an NBA team to cheer for. But it's just so tough, man. And not only has been that dismantling of passion, but during that whole time, you were on Bally Sports where nobody could see you. It was impossible to watch. It's just it's literally one of the biggest organizational disasters in all of sports. Like, you want to make fun of the Washington Wizards, you are the Wizards. You want to make fun of the Cleveland Browns, you are the Browns. That's you. And that's tough, man. Freaking bums me out, man.
Yeah, no, that.
Like I have nothing left for that team, and I used to love them. I used to ride or die with them. I dressed up as a wizard for the virtual fan thing on during COVID.
Oh, yeah, you did.
I was sitting there in my wizard costume, talking to other people on Zoom, watching the Kings embarrass them because, of course, every big moment they seem to let you down.
Yeah, you did the video where did the pop up from your back that after chugging a beer, you're excited. Charlie Brown pulled the football from you again, though. I guess Lucy would pull the football. You're Charlie Brown in this scenario. Sorry, I was trying to give you more credit than you deserved.
And call me C-Bob. So. Again, guys, the words that come to mind, sad, apathetic, pathetic, and wet fart.
Yeah. I think the sound probably did the heavy lifting there. You didn't have to.
That's true.
Yeah.
God, I love BI, though.
What's this look like? Because Bruce Brown, I think he's injured because, of course, I think Olynyk's injured as well. I'm pretty sure they both just missed games for the Raptors. As I look here on the Pelicans depth chart, it does have day-to-day next to both of them.
Why? Anyway,
yeah.
I'm okay.
Yeah, I sound like it.
So
it's people are looking over here. Guys, we're just talking about the Pelicans.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, exactly.
We're the local show. I know you aren't talking Pelicans today, but we are.
Jeremy Fryer, how do you think Mavs fans feel? I mean, that is true.
Sure, but the Mavs have a title. They went to the Western Conference Finals and then won that and went to the finals last year.
It is still very bad.
Why? Exactly.
How did you replay that so quickly?
Well
nice.
done.
Good job, Kate.
Well done, Kate.
All right. Whatever. God, what a bummer of a segment. My bad, guys. All right, let's try to get the vibes back
You could
up.
have saved this, for when I left here in about 10 minutes.
Yeah, let's get the vibes up. Let's talk some football next year. Let's get the vibes back up. Super Bowl's here. We're on Radio Row. The Pelicans can't hurt you here. Okay, guys? Don't worry about that. Also, they traded Tice for not cash considerations, for draft compensation. I don't understand how the NBA works. More OTB next.
Off the bench.
Alon says I don't love the vibe on OTB today. Okay, we're going to get it fixed. Sorry, guys. That's just what happens when the Brandon Ingram era ends and Kelly Olynyk is all you have to show for. Go to Tommy's Windows, Doors, and Siding. GEAUXTommys.com. GEAUXTommys.com. Tommy's is there for you when you need them. And when you want Hardy Plank Vinyl Siding, wood or vinyl windows, any type of door, they are your exterior home improvement experts. And Tommy's been at this thing for nearly 3 decades, guys, okay? 2 decades working for somebody else, got his 10,000 hours. So you know what? I've learned everything I know this business. I would do things differently. He does. Now, every year they've been in existence, they've taken home that Angie's Super Service Award. So you want lifetime warranties on that vinyl and those windows? You want energy-efficient options that pay for themselves with the money you save over time? It's all at Tommy's Windows, Doors, and Siding. GEAUXTommys.com.
Go to the website today, see what they can do for you. Testimonials of past clients. Also, a gallery of work, what they've done in the greater Baton Rouge area. But always remember, if you're looking for something you don't see, don't worry, because Tommy and the team can come out and they can customize your job to what you're looking to get done. Go to the website today. That is gotommys.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
There's never been a better time to catch a John Deere deal from the crew of Sunshine. Ask us about our low monthly payment options on our tractor packages and let the good times roll. With equipment strong enough to power one of the world's largest celebrations, we've got your needs covered too. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Offer ends March 5th, 2025.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary. For those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental
Say my name, say my name. If no one is around you, say baby I love you. If you ain't running game, say my name, say my name. You acting kinda shady, ain't calling me baby. Why the sudden change? Say my name, say my name. If no one is around you, say baby I love you. If you ain't running game, say my name, say my name. You acting kinda shady.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob. Live from Super Bowl 59 Radio Row in New Orleans. Presented by L'Auberge Casino Hotel, Baton Rouge.
Yo, what's going on, yo? Welcome back to OTB live here on Radio Row. As you heard, presented by our friends at L'Auberge. Shout out to L'Auberge. Glad to be out here. Really thankful for them for sponsoring the trip. LSU baseball is right around the corner, and a couple of pitchers have been named All-Americans. Lefty Cade Anderson, Jake, and Chase Shores, and righty Chase Shores, have been named 2025 preseason All-Americans by Baseball America. However, in the coaches poll, LSU predicted to finish 4th in the SEC. So very funny that that here you have an LSU team that is top 5 in basically every major poll, and yet in an imitation of football, it's like, okay, you're one of the top 10 teams in the entire country, but you're like 6th in the SEC. LSU predicted to finish 4th despite being a top 5 team in every single poll.
Yeah, it's like that every single year, but it is funny because LSU is number 2 in a lot of polls as well. Right, yep. They're top 5 in every poll, but I mean they're as high as 2, I think, in most polls. And so to see them, pick to finish 4th, although you finish 4th in the SEC, you'll be hosting. You'll be hosting everything.
Yes, yeah.
So,
true.
It wouldn't be doomsday or anything, but I still have belief that this baseball team will be challenging for the regular season SEC title. You never know once you get to Hoover how that's going to play out. Everybody plays that tournament a little bit different, but no, I think this is a team that is going to be a top 10 team all season long, and maybe they go from 2 to 8 and up to 4 and then bounce back to 10. Maybe, who knows, it is the SEC. You'll lose a series that maybe you shouldn't, but, I mean, they have brought in enough players to have all the depth at every single position. And certainly, I mean, you mentioned some of the pitchers there. I mean, Chase Shore, somebody that you wish you had a year ago. So I'm excited about it, like we always are here. And I think the SEC is going to be deep, just like it is in hoops, just like it is in basketball. Women's and men's basketball and football.
So you maybe ask yourself, well, if LSU's picked to finish 4th, who's the top 3? Texas A&M picked to win the regular season SEC title. Tennessee predicted to finish 2nd. Arkansas 3rd. LSU 4th. And Florida 5th. God, just rattling off all those names. So excited for the quality of this league. Cannot wait. Alondra, I'll allow you here a bit of runway to, if you want to weigh in on the preseason Americans, you want to weigh in on the baseball, or if you want to weigh in on your De'Aaron Fox, a very successful debut for your Spurs last night, Alondra. How are we feeling?
Yeah, the vibes in San Antonio are super high. De'Aaron Fox is living up to the hype that I thought he was going to bring to San Antonio. I am very excited. And, I mean, Wemby had 24 points last night as well. So just a great duo out there. And Chris Paul is good, too. I'm just very excited about San Antonio Spurs. And also very, very excited about this baseball season, about a week away. And, yeah, I mean, Chase Shores, like you said, very, very ready to watch him pitch.
It is a week away, isn't it, baby? We almost have a Valentine's Day, baby. Let's go. February 7th or 6th? February 6th right now. I can't wait.
I thought you were saying Valentine's Day. I was like, man, I know you're you're bad with dates, but.
No. Relax, guys. Jake, I'm upset because you're going to miss the Chad Johnson conversation. Chad Johnson at 1:42 in the morning, this morning, tweeted, "I've ended up with a young lady in my bed, and I don't want to be rude. How do I ask her to politely leave without her getting upset?" So we'll talk about it more later on the show. But you have a great day at Super Bowl Radio. Again, guys, XM 106. XM 106, if you want to go check out Super Bowl Radio, 9 to 12 for Jake. And then 2 to 5 this afternoon on off-campus, Sirius XM 84. Take it easy, brother.
All right.
Coming up next, we have the voice of your New Orleans Saints and Senior Vice President, Chief Marketing Officer for New Orleans Company, and a chief member of the host committee for the Super Bowl here. That is Mark Roman. Keep it locked here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench.
Hey, guys, go to All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge, allstartoyotabatonrouge.com. All-Star Toyota is there for you if you need a new vehicle. Or maybe you want to get like a Toyota certified used vehicle where you still get actually warranty coverage. Maybe you're looking to buy outright. Maybe you're looking to lease. Whatever the case may be, All-Star has everything, guys. And it's not just the vehicle, it's the people. I mean, I told you the other day I'm in the service center, which is open to all makes and models. Get done to me, All-Star, done to me, Toyota. And I'm checking out, because I got in a flat. They were great. They got a rental, everything. But the person next to me is like, "Oh my God, like, wait, y'all are done already? Thank you so much. It's incredible. I get to get home." And I think she was very excited to like eat her soup and watch her shows. But the point is, it was a very wholesome, satisfied interaction between customer and business. And that's what you get consistently when it comes to All-Star Toyota. So head over to All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge today and get yourself a new car.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
At Atmos Energy, our smart choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Savor game day platters and snacks, plus drink specials at 1717 Kitchen and Cocktail. So come out for game day and let our team make you the MVP. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
There's never been a better time to catch a John Deere deal from the crew of Sunshine. Ask us about our low monthly payment options on our tractor packages and let the good times roll. With equipment strong enough to power one of the world's largest celebrations, we've got your needs covered too. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Offer ends March 5th, 2025.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Live from Super Bowl 59 Radio Row in New Orleans. Presented by L'Auberge Casino Hotel, Baton Rouge.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? T-Bob Baby here, Off the Bench, back here live at Radio Row. Shout out to L'Auberge for sponsoring the trip out of here. And shout out to our next guest, Mr. Mark Romick, Senior Vice President and Chief Marketing Officer for New Orleans & Company. Also, you may probably know him as the public address announcer at Saints home games. He's also serving on the Super Bowl host committee and was recently appointed honorary consul for Thailand and Louisiana. I didn't know. Why do we have an honorary consul for Thailand?
Have you seen how many Thai restaurants we have?
Okay, true. You know what? Never mind. I stand corrected.
Actually, it's beautiful people. There's a lot of Thai products coming back and forth, and it's a beautiful country to represent here in the United States.
Hell yeah, man. That's awesome, Mark. Thank you so much for joining us. Of course, okay, so there's a few things that you said it's perfect right there. There's a few things that I want to hit on here. First off, we were just talking off air. You said everything's gotten so much bigger this time around, right? And there's so much more to be. Radio Row is huge, but the NFL fan experience just opened up. If I'm listening right now, and maybe I'm coming to this weekend or looking for something to do over the next couple of days, what are the times and what does the experience entail?
Yeah, the experience is really your way to get into the NFL. It's like an amusement park in many ways.
Yeah.
You know, family and friends, come on down. Kids 12 and under get in free.
Oh, let's go.
Today it opens up at 3 o'clock.
3 of them.
3 o'clock to 10 o'clock today and tomorrow, and then on Saturday, 10 to 10. Tickets are $20 today and tomorrow, and $20. $20 today and $40 tomorrow and Saturday. Again, it's another way to enjoy all the great things about the NFL. You can see all the rings from the past games, the team helmets. You've got the Lombardi Trophy. You want to see the Lombardi Trophy?
Yeah, heck yeah.
You can run the 40-yard dash if you want. Lots of former players and folks are around where you can get autographs. And again, it's just another opportunity to experience what we are seeing here in New Orleans, which is the NFL takeover, as they say.
Yeah, it's like Comic-Con, except instead of comic book nerds, it's NFL nerds. Now, you mentioned the takeover, and that is the most fascinating part about something like this to me is, we're not a large city necessarily, like 500,000, maybe the city proper, 1 million in like greater metro area. And yet now there's a couple $500 million yachts moored off the coast. There's, like the most powerful people in the country, the president, the former first lady, like literally everybody is descending upon this city. And as someone who is in these rooms and dealing with what kind of opportunity does that create for the state in terms of forging connections, laying the groundwork for potential plans, economic development? Like, how do y'all seek to leverage and make the most of these opportunities?
Well, to your point, it's an amazing opportunity for the state of Louisiana and, of course, the city of New Orleans to message that we're open for business. We're a great place to live, work, and play. And the governor has taken all of his assets, working with Susan Bourgeois, and using this opportunity to bring in companies from around the country to say, hey, we're open for business. We want you to be here. And so they have made a major presence here in New Orleans, and they'll be hosting a number of events to show off all the great things that are happening. It's just not a sports story now.
Yeah.
It's an opportunity for us to speak to those who are making those decisions about where they're going to invest their time in companies, and we want them to know Louisiana wants them.
And so what is that like? Kind of take me through that process a little bit, and then I want to get into the Super Bowl selection process. But how exactly does that work, right? Is it? I mean, you take them out to dinner. You show it the city. You're talking about, look, here are the breaks we have planned. Like how do you start that relationship then that eventually ends in hopefully, a deal being struck, a plant being built, right, which we've had some exciting news in those regards recently. But how does that work?
Yeah, it's an ongoing process. There's always a list of folks who are looking to invest, and we want to be in that conversation. Working with Michael Hecht with G&O Inc., Susan Bourgeois with the Department of Economic Development, the governor's attention to this, making sure that you can get them here. You want them to be part of our guest list, so to speak, and giving them an opportunity to see everything that's happening and to present to them those things that are going on. Entergy is our founding partner. They have a great economic development arm because they want to bring business as well into Louisiana and help increase our economy and the economic impact of this game. So it's just not this week. We are enveloping those messages. They're going to be hearing it, and then they go back and make their decisions. So it's just not one touch point. It's a continued touch point, and I'm excited about what will come down the pike from this.
And so I mean, again, and a lot of this opportunity, the ability to create these touch points, is because of the Super Bowl. So what's the process, like, as a member of the host committee, what's the process like of winning these bids and then planning to host the entire world basically for a week?
Yeah, we're now into 6+ years of planning. Once we got the announcement that we were going to take this, initially it was going to be 2024, then we moved to 2025. The good news is that we've got a playbook that we've used several times over. Jay Cicero, who is the president and CEO of the Sports Foundation and the host committee, this is his 4th Super Bowl. You've got all the background and experience that someone like Doug Thornton has brought to the table, because Doug was on deck prior to Jay doing this, these types of events. You've got a committee structure, 20+ committees with responsibilities to work with the NFL to produce what you see here and all around the city. And then what we'll do is hopefully do it all over again, because we're 11th tied with Miami, but we certainly want to be 12 at some point. And so when that happens, we will be ready, because we've got the game plan that has worked over and over and over again.
Well, and I mean, look, you see just anecdotally, there's so much media here and foreign players and everything, and then you see them tweeting about, like, I mean, I think I saw Ocho Cinco, like, I effing love New Orleans, dude. I'm never leaving. You're going to have to drag me out of here. So, once you win the bid, you get them in here, and then you let the city kind of do the work, and the natural charm start to wear on them.
Speaking of that, we've got 7,000 credentialed media from around the world. Tuesday night, you may have participated. It was the media party.
No, that looked insane. I've been going back in the afternoon, like, get the kids from school and all that stuff.
It was great. It was at next door at Mardi Gras World. And, again, the comments we're getting back and we're hearing is that the media love being in New Orleans, because not only can they do their work, tell their stories, but they can enjoy the culture of Louisiana and New Orleans. And so the food's good, the music's good, and the location, as you know, we're so walkable.
There is not a better stadium placement in any NFL city, and I don't even think it's particularly close.
Yeah, we're got 26,000 hotel rooms within a mile and a half of the Caesars
Whoa,
Superdome. So
I did not realize that.
You're easily walking from the French Quarter to the Warehouse District, from the riverfront down to Caesars Superdome. And again, that's one of the assets that we can put out there that we think that no other city can own.
And so we mentioned the NFL experience going down now. Again, kids 12 and under get in for free. $20 today, $40 tomorrow and Saturday. Open at 3 p.m. today and tomorrow, and then 1 p.m. on Saturday?
No, opens up at 10 a.m. on
10 a.m. on Saturday. There
Saturday,
we go. So go check that out. But there's also a parade going down this Saturday. Because what would a big Louisiana event be without a parade? Tell me about the parade.
This is the first time. It's the host committee Super Bowl parade. It'll be coming through the French Quarter down to Canal Street, then on to St. Charles Avenue.
Like a ride? Okay, I was kind of thinking maybe just like like something in the convention center, okay. So we're doing a parade-ass parade.
We have 14+ floats. We've got marching groups, great bands like St. Augustine High School, Marching 100, Edna Carr, Brother Martin High School. We've got the 610 Stompers. It's going to be our way of showing these visitors, 100,000 or plus visitors in town, what Mardi Gras is really like.
Heck yeah, man. Give them a nice little tasty preview.
And Todd Graves, we all know Todd as Raising Cane's founder, is the king.
And he's the, what's his title with the host committee?
He's the king of the Super Bowl Mardi Gras parade, host committee parade. So he'll be leading the parade down through the French Quarter onto St. Charles Avenue.
Hell yes, dude. We love to see it. On a personal note, Mark, I gotta say, I also loved when I was googling around trying to find exactly all your titles. You're a man of many titles. I love your lakefront. home, dude.
Thank
love
you.
it. Like,
You should
the Times-Picayune did a
come
wonderful
experience.
write-up. Go Google it. Go check it out, guys. I could live on that third floor getaway. I would never leave ever again if I was to ever just mahogany and leather and tasteful decoration. Oh, just
Well,
beautiful, man.
after 6 decades of collecting things, I had to put them somewhere.
So this is something that I find especially prevalent in New Orleans with people who are very good at interior design is this curated chaos where it's a lot of different things that I don't know how they're going to fit together, but then when you place them in just the right way, they do. I don't understand it. Like, what's your process like?
You know what? You've just given me a compliment I've never received before. I guess luck at this point. But as you know, that's a part of New Orleans, the lakefront, that is it's a sort of a secret. We've got some great seafood restaurants. We're next to Felix's, and next door to that is the Blue Crab and Landry's. And then, of course, it's just some great sunsets and sunrises.
I've been at Lakefront Arena plenty of times. My little brother used to coach at UNO, and so I would go up. My favorite things to do when I had my first kids, he's a little baby. We'd drive up there, go watch them play basketball, hang out. It's beautiful.
My blood pressure drops when I pull up to the home.
Oh, absolutely.
But this is an exciting time for all of Louisiana, and the impact that is being felt not only in New Orleans but in the region, because there are people staying on the Gulf Coast, there are people staying in Baton Rouge, Lafayette, North Shore, and it's another way for us to roll out the reddest of red carpets.
Mark Romick, Senior Vice President, Chief Marketing Officer, New Orleans Company, Public Address Announcer of the Saints game, member of the Super Bowl Host Committee, and Honorary Consul for Thailand. Mark, thank you so much, man. This is an absolute pleasure. Thank you all for everything you're doing for the state. Best of luck with all the potential deals, and here's to hoping that Louisiana can continue to rise and get some positive economic momentum, which seems like we actually got right now, guys. So that's great. And again, guys, fan experience, parade this Saturday. The city's going to be incredible. The fever pitch is coming. Thank you so much, Mark.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Take it easy. All right, when we get back, we got more Off the Bench.
Off the bench.
What's going on, y'all? I want to remind you that every day we're brought to you by our friends at Trash Rangers. Go to trashrangers.com. Oh, thank you, Mark. Right on. The kids are going to love this. Trashrangers.com. You make the switch today, guys. We have extended our half-off deal, meaning if you live in Livingston or Cincy, you get to choose who handles your residential trash pickup. Okay? That's rare because you're not just pigeonholed into a into you have a choice, right? You get it, whatever. I don't have to over-explain it. Make switch Trash Rangers. $13.95 a month, guys. As low as $13.95 a month. You get better service from local people who actually give a damn. They text you the night before it's your pickup day, so you never forget to put out your cans. Again, there's a reason why they have 1,000 5-star reviews online. It gets AR 5-star through and through. So go to trashrangers.com, and if you're a business and you need your trash handled, your waste removal handled, you need front-load dumpsters emptied up to 6 days a week, need any size roll-off dumpster, we got you. Trashrangers.com, trashrangers.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
There's never been a better time to catch a John Deere deal from the crew of Sunshine. Ask us about our low monthly payment options on our tractor packages and let the good times roll. With equipment strong enough to power one of the world's largest celebrations, we've got your needs covered too. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Lucy Lou, with my girl Drew, Cameron D and Destiny, Charlie's Angels, come on. Question.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob. Live from Super Bowl 59 Radio Row in New Orleans. Presented by L'Auberge Casino Hotel Baton Rouge.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. We are here live at Radio Row at the Super Bowl. Shout out to L'Auberge Hotel Casino for having us on today. We have our kind of a girl, Rivers Huey, on here. Why were you so upset yesterday?
No, I'm so proud of T-Bob. He went on Mostly Sports with Brandon Walker and Mark Titus.
Yeah, fun show.
He did a great job.
Second
so if
time
you have
on.
not
They're
listened,
good people.
yeah, it was very funny. And they got to a part where T-Bob was talking about how they were ranked number 7.
Yeah.
Mid-market morning sports show.
Mid-market local morning sports talk show. Thank you very much. According to at least one outlet, Barrett Sports Media.
It's a mouthful. And they were like, well, what about number 6? Can you come for number 6? And T-Bob was like, they have a really cool dynamic. 2 guys, 1 girl. Like, and they were like, you can't beat it. Like, he was like, I guess we kind of have a girl.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. And Alondra, before you can get mad, so I can see you
I was
getting
about
mad
to
as well.
say, like, okay.
I know, guys. Again. I'm just talking about the traditional kind of setup, right? I do maintain that, Alondra, you are absolutely like a host of the show as well. You and Taylor, right? Y'all's on-air abilities are why I love y'all so much. But it's not like it's not like the Murphy, Sam, and Jody setup as we talked about, or the other thing. Okay.
Yep. So
that's what I meant by kind of a girl.
So they have kind of a girl. So what a
we have
way
kind
to,
of 2 girls.
What a way to celebrate
women on Women's
National Girls
Sports.
and Women in Sports Day by celebrating their kind of a girl co-host.
In all seriousness, it was National Women in Sports Day yesterday, and I got to say, you and Alondra have been absolutely killing it out here.
We've been having fun.
Yeah, y'all been doing great work. All right. Now, speaking of women, Chad Johnson.
Speaking of women, I do not like this transition.
I know, it's not a good transition. Ocho Cinco. So maybe the best part about Ocho Cinco, right, is that he has proven what guys like McAfee and others haven't. I guess, ostensibly what I'm trying to prove sometimes as well is that you can be a bit crazy. You can be a bit out there. You can be yourself. You can be a bit ribald. You can be a bit crass. And if you're entertaining enough, people still got to put you on, right? I mean, Chad Johnson lives a very honest life. I knew that I loved Nightcap with him and Shannon when I heard them talking about eating booty. And here we talk about and live on talking about eating ass. Sorry, I don't know. The point of this is Chad Johnson lives a very open public lifestyle. In fact, if you haven't seen it, we can't play it because the audio, there's a lot of like cursing, got a little intense. Go look up the video of him and James Harrison on Nightcap yesterday. Him and James Harrison were about to fight.
What was the fight about?
Very intense. Chad Johnson was saying he could beat up James Harrison.
Oh, that was okay.
Which is insane. I mean, you you are challenging real-life Debo. Like straight killer, maybe the scariest man who has existed in the NFL in our era. It's a video well worth the watch. We just can't play it here. But it's it's February 6th today, right? Here's a tweet from Ocho Cinco at 1:42 a.m., February 6th.
That's a tough time to be tweeting.
Well, I think I know what he was doing before. Because he says, quote, I've ended up with a young lady in my bed, and I don't want to be rude. How do I ask her to leave politely without her getting upset? So I wanted to bring I have no experience in this realm at all. So I wanted to bring some female. No. I'm not. No. Let me finish.
No experience in this realm. So I wanted to bring our kind of a girl on.
No. Yes. I'm not saying that you have random hooking up with a celebrity in New Orleans or spending that in a hotel room experience. What I'm saying is I just want a female perspective on this as well.
Okay.
Is there a way at 1:42 a.m. to get a person to leave your bed and not be rude? Because I've thought about it a lot, and I don't think there is.
No, I think your ship has sailed.
You just got to cuddle.
But I think you do. I think you got it. But I think at like 6, 7-ish, you can start to.
Well, you wake up and you're like, I got to go to work.
Yeah, you start to shift them out, you know. But I think at 1:42, I think you're committed.
You're at least committed for a few more hours at that point. I also brought.
And to be fair, it's 2, so you don't have that much longer.
Alondra, you said you thought the tweet was very funny as well. What do you think? Is there a way to get a woman out of your bed, or a man, a person, out of your bed at 1:42 a.m. without being rude?
So I do think that the tweet is absolutely hilarious because, again, rough time to be tweeting at like 1:30 in the morning. But I don't know. Like, I feel like maybe that should be something that you discuss beforehand. I don't know. I've never been in that situation. I feel like if it was Ocho Cinco, like if I was that girl and I was in Ocho Cinco's bed, I would probably just leave. Like, I don't think you would have to tell me to leave. I think I just would.
Yeah.
Hell no, dude. He's probably in a fire-ass hotel room, dude. That bed's probably so comfortable. We got like 2,000 thread count sheets. You ain't getting me out of that bed. Like it's 1:42. You want me to get my ass in an Uber? Nah, fam. I don't even care. You want to cuddle? Good. I'll be Lil Spoon, but I ain't leaving.
No, guys,
I got a shower in the morning. Like, you better, look, you can get out of here. You can go to work. I'm ordering room service before I go.
I also
best
think,
believe that.
I think there are some further questions, like what time did they get to the room? Like, I think if you've not been there long and this happens, then
I'm gonna
you
guess
do
it
leave.
wasn't that long. You know, I mean, yes, I'm going to guess they were
If you've
probably
been
out
there
and about.
since like 9 p.m., no, you're probably, I'm staying, you know?
So you're saying if you got there at 1 and you got quickly down to it, that
I think
then you have to leave
I think
afterwards?
you leave.
It's
I think you leave.
1:42,
But
guys.
let's say you get there at 1. Like, you leave.
No,
I saw a comment
no
that
way.
said that you just say, so what you about to do?
So that's what else I was going to bring up. That is actually the funniest part of all of this is the suggestion where you asked, hey, so what you about to do?
Guys, you don't ask a question, okay? You're in the bed. You're probably curled up. Extend the legs, kick her out the bed, roll over, go on with your night. This is a very easy solution. It's not hard.
Also, this poor girl's going to wake up today and see this tweet all over the place.
Hey, man.
That's why it's better to just leave her.
Yeah, but no names were named. And also, like I said, Ocho Cinco lives a very honest and open lifestyle.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, I mean, maybe she didn't know that.
Yeah.
But he looked good yesterday, though, dude. He had his Balenciaga on. He's smoking his stogie. Swag levels at an all-time high.
Mm-hmm.
He also tweeted, I effing love this city. I'm never leaving. And it's funny because she later tweeted, I effing love this guy. I'm never leaving. And then stayed in the hotel
Stayed forever.
night long. No.
They're getting married tomorrow.
Yeah, so I don't think there's a way. But if you know of a way, chat, let me know. All right, 2 hours in the books. Coming up next hour, we got Evan Cohen of ESPN Radio. We got Sierra Delta coming to talk about vets and dogs. And we got Deuce McAllister as well. Keep it locked here on OTB.
Off the bench.
Hey, guys, I want to remind you about our friends at K to Z Window Coverings, KTOZBlinds.com. You want window coverings that wow. Okay, you want to take your home next door. You know what really ties a room together? Sorry, the dude. It's not the rug, okay? It's the correct drapery or curtains or shutters. That's how you make a room feel whole and complete, and you bring it to the next level. And at K to Z, that you're taking advantage of over 25 years of experience. Built this thing from the ground up, did Brandon Barton, his team. He comes into your home. He lays out exactly how the sun interacts with your home at every single step of the way, of the day, and then he gives you all the options that are in play. And this could be for any price point. So let's say you're like just starting out with your life. That's awesome. You've got a home. Congratulations. That's huge. You want to bring it to the next level, start home, they got you. Or you have the home of your dreams. Again, they got you. Go to ktocblinds.com.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on Mountain Cold Refreshment. Dave's back on. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Good morning. It's 9 a.m. here on Thursday, February 6th. Today in Baton Rouge, you can expect mostly sunny skies with a high of 82. In hour 3 of today's show, we'll have Big Deal or No Big Deal at 9 a.m. We'll hear from Mike Golick Jr. Evan Cohen stops by the show, and we'll close it out with Deuce McAllister. If you missed hours 1 or 2 of the show, you can catch it in the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com. You can also follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN. And watch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Hour number 3 of Off the Bench, live from Radio Row in New Orleans for Super Bowl 59, starts now.
Let's go, baby, let's go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Dude, they said I gotta come off the bench.
Now, here's Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
It was funnier at the time, okay? No, it was funnier at the time. I'm telling you, dude. Welcome back to OTB, hour number 3. As I said, we got Evan Cohen of ESPN Radio coming up next. We got Sierra Delta coming to talk about service dogs. Bets. We got Deuce McAllister closing out this hour. We are live at Radio Row. Shout out to LeBear's Hotel Casino in Baton Rouge for having us out here, for sponsoring our trip out here. It's my first time on Radio Row. Rivers, also your first time on Radio Row.
Yes.
And thank you for hopping on here and
saving you.
Yep, saving me. But what's been your favorite
What
memories?
else do you keep an almost girl around for?
Yeah, exactly.
I
know. River's like, oh my God, everybody's so nice to me. Everybody's been so sweet, so nice. I'm like,
I don't appreciate what he's about to. The implication that he is.
I wonder if we were to go person by person, and if I was to interact with the exact same people, if they would be as nice to me. And everybody's been very kind.
Look, it's not my fault that this is like a desert for women. Like, it's like when I go to March Madness with my dad to Vegas. It's like one of me to like 800 men.
That's a good ratio, dude.
We need to get Alondra to March Madness.
Yep. Get Alondra to March Madness, indeed.
So I learned something interesting yesterday, and maybe I've just always taken it for granted. But like, I'm not from Louisiana, so we're doing the bit where we ask people who aren't from here to pronounce words. They're reading them, they're trying to pronounce them. And we're with Mike Golick Jr.
Yeah.
And, I like ordered them. I'm like, we're going to go like easiest to most challenging. And I put lanyap first. And he looked at that word like it was, he was just like, this is impossible. But like, I think lanyap's like a pretty normal word, even if you don't live in Louisiana. I'm not from here.
Yeah. But you have a little bit of neighborly instinct. I mean, you're not from as far away as he is. I'll say this.
For sure.
When I came over here after, and this is somebody with a lot of Louisiana connections growing up, and come back my entire life. But when I came over here from Georgia, I had no idea what lanyap was. How to pronounce it, the word, what it meant. I didn't know anything about it.
But I also feel like if you have some general idea of how letters work together, you could probably figure lanyap out.
I don't entirely disagree, but I'm a genius, and I did not. So that's kind of where my hesitance
well, if you don't know it,
comes
then
into play. Yes,
who
exactly. Now, we did end up uncovering, though, when you were talking with Golick.
Yes, after.
Maybe the most damning piece of evidence, because we were kind of proud of him. He nailed some of the pronunciations. Of course, he used to play for the New Orleans Saints for a little bit. But he's dating a girl from Lafayette. So he probably should have known lanyap.
Yes, I think
he probably should have known lanyap.
He was not as impressive after we learned that. But he did pretty good. And then we did Stugatz. He didn't do as well.
Wait, so I haven't seen the Stugatz video yet, though. I've been on the lookout
be on
for
the lookout.
Okay. For those that don't know, Stugatz is, really Dan and Stu, Dan Levitard and Stugatz, those are like my radio muses. I really try to fashion myself as almost like a combination of the two. I'm terribly upset I didn't get to see him, but I had to run over to Mostly Sports. How was Stugatz?
Yeah, I'm so sad you weren't there to video us and commentate the whole time.
Hey, I thought I did good filming Mike Golick Jr. What do you mean?
You did great. It was just funny. We were like watching it back last night, and Alondra and Chris Marley were like, T-Bob's commentary.
Yeah, I'm gassing him up. What am I supposed to do?
You were gassing him up. I'm trying to embarrass him, and you're like, you're doing great, sweetie.
Dude, look, I'm an on-air personality. You can't put me behind the camera. You can't put Bobby in the corner.
No, what
I love what I'm saying, dude?
Was when he was like, "Oh no, you don't have to put the card up. We'll do it in post."
Wait, what happened?
He's like, "You don't have to put the card up. We'll do it in post."
Yeah.
I know.
What do you want to focus on the freaking little note card every time? Sorry, I know how to direct as well, guys.
What are we doing here?
No, you know how long that video would take if you sat there and held the card up to the camera every single time?
I literally turned the card around. I wasn't asking you to zoom in. I just needed you to stand still.
Well, and also the word that Golick Jr. like absolutely butchered, like couldn't even remember what he said. You hear T-Bob in the back go, "Oh, that's not that bad, dude." I'm like, no, it was very bad.
It's not that bad, dude.
I told him, and I'll stand by it. He got like 55 to 60% of each word correct. Well, he barely hit 100, but he got most correct.
Okay, so to kind of circle this all back, so when I did with Stugatz, I was like, he was like, how'd I do? And just afterwards, I was like, I think you did pretty well. I was like, you might have done better than, Golick Jr. And he was like, I was like, which is surprising to me because I would have assumed Golick Jr. would have gotten a lot of these words. And Stu Gatz was like, well, you know what? He was like, I mentored Ocho whenever he was coming into media. And he was like, I remember one of the best pieces of advice that I gave him was
so Stu Gatz said the best piece of advice. That's funny to highlight because normally it's like the best piece of advice that I received.
No.
Stu
Gatz said the best
piece of advice that
advice that I ever gave him was give them what they need. So he was like, do you think Golick Jr. really didn't know how to say those words, or was he giving you what you needed? And
No,
I
he didn't know.
was like, that's true. I was like, all right, were you just giving me what I needed then? He's like, no, I'm stupid. He was like, I'm dumb.
See, that's classic Stu, dude. Plays the fool, but he always has a little
He's written a book.
something in
That's
there.
what he was saying.
What?
He was like, I hate these words, but I have written a book. I do know about the words.
He wrote a book?
He said he did. I mean, did he? I don't know.
I have no idea.
I didn't do any fact checking.
Did he? I know where he's at. No, I don't want to talk about that this hour. All right. That's a bad joke. My bad, guys. You take a lot of shots. I went to stand-up last night, which is pretty interesting. Rivers, you strike me as someone who would be deeply uncomfortable in an intimate stand-up environment. I just see a lot of nose scratching going on if a joke doesn't land, which, to be fair,
I would be sitting,
is tough.
I would be sitting front row smiling at them, like giving them the thumbs up.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you're doing great.
I mean, you think I was gassing up Joey? This room's probably like, 50 square feet. There's like 20 people in there. Randomly, a lot like Steve Mariucci's in there, Rachel Bonetta, others.
I would have loved to have seen her. She's so funny.
She's very, very funny. But yes, I was sitting there, guffawing the entire time. And it was very funny.
I don't think anyone that just heard that is surprised.
But I was,
You gotta give them. Give them what they need.
I do not exactly.
Give them
what they need. Shout out to Stu Gatz, the philosopher.
The best advice I ever gave someone.
That's the funniest thing I've ever heard. I have never heard anyone say the best advice I ever gave someone. Really, Stu Gatzian stuff.
Well, he was funny too, because I went over there and I was like, hey, I'm supposed to be here to interview you right now, and he was like, can I have some time? I was like, oh yeah, for sure. I was like, I'm not in a hurry. I'll just be right over there. He's like, you're just gonna stand there by yourself? And I was like, I am just gonna wait here for you. And he was like, all right. He was like, and I thought he said, don't nudge me. I thought he was being like, don't hurry me. And I was like, oh no.
Whoa.
No, I was like, I'm not in a hurry. He was like, no. Do nudge me. He was like, I love a nudge. I need a nudge. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, well, then I can nudge.
Alondra text, everyone's been super cool, LOL. Oh, they've been cool to you too, huh? Interesting.
Well, that's what I was going to say. So, I went up to Stu Gatz.
Dress. I saw a girl, very interesting.
She was looking great.
Very interesting.
Okay,
we're
guys.
trying to get Pat McAfee to notice her.
What if I wear a leather dress? I would get noticed.
I mean, what am I supposed to wear? It's like, am I supposed to wear jeans and a T-shirt? What do you want from me?
Girl, I'm
you
just
look
gassing
great.
you up. I'm just saying you look great, dude. You're killing it. Keep killing it.
I'd been sitting up here since 5 a.m. looking like someone had run me over, and Alondra walks up. Her hair looks beautiful.
Yeah.
She's got this leather dress on. I'm like, okay.
She's way younger than you.
God.
Stand over there.
Oh, man. Sorry. Couldn't get a shot.
No, she looked great. And she's doing such a good job. Alondra, you are.
You're killing it.
Thanks,
killing
guys.
it.
Taylor, you suck. You're doing nothing, Taylor.
No, I don't think it's that. It's just that I'm so great all the time that you don't really notice anymore. It's just one of those things,
Okay, now
That's
that's some best advice I've ever given someone is be careful. If you go all effort all the time, people are going to start to expect that. Better establish a baseline of mediocrity and then turn it up when you have to.
But I just caught a stray there, and I didn't say anything to Tay-Tay.
No, you're not catching a stray. It's just, look, we like to have friendly banter back and forth, guys. We're having fun.
Look, Tay-Tay, he's to be fair, he's kind of deflect. He's being attacked a little bit. He's just dodging, counter punching, trying to fight his way out the phone booth. Okay, I thought you were talking.
I know. It's
really
it's
kind of hard to hear. To be fair, it's a little hard to hear. It's a little hard to interact from 1,000 miles away, or 60, whatever it is. I'm not a geography, guys. You know this.
We have a really big hour this hour, starting
right now, really.
Well, 9:30.
No, 9:15.
9:15?
Evan Cohen, Sierra Delta, Deuce McAllister.
Yep.
So, Rivs,
I gotta go.
thank you so much. Keep up the great work. Keep killing it. When we get back, we'll talk to ESPN Radio's Evan Cohen, host of The Morning Show on ESPN. Keep it locked here on OTB.
Off the bench.
Go to centralplumbing.org, 925-8552, 925-8552. Centralplumbing.org is there for you when you need plumbing help. And they've been at it for 50 years, right, guys? Half a century, so you don't you can't hit them with anything that they haven't seen, they haven't done, they don't know how to solve. And so let's say you got an old house with character and something goes wrong, that sucks, we got you. You got a new house, something goes wrong, that really sucks. But no matter how new the toilet tech is, we still got you, man. And we got flat rate pricing, licensed, bonded, and insured employees, 24/7 emergency service, and excellent warranty coverage once the work is done. So go to centralplumbing.org today. That's centralplumbing.org.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
There's never been a better time to catch a John Deere deal from the crew of Sunshine. Ask us about our low monthly payment options on our tractor packages and let the good times roll. With equipment strong enough to power one of the world's largest celebrations, we've got your needs covered too. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Offer ends March 5th, 2025.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet.
Say what? Dirty South. Here we go. Can y'all really feel me? Baby girl. East Coast feel me. West Coast feel me. Can you feel us? Dirty South.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob. Live from Super Bowl 59 Radio Row in New Orleans. Presented by L'Auberge Casino Hotel Baton Rouge.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. So I thought we were catching up with Cohen. We'll see. I don't know. What? No, what are you saying? No. Okay. Huh. We'll see if he ends up coming on or not. I know, guys. I mean, here it is. I'm watching, players interview all around me. Moscona gets guys the afternoon, and there's Greg Olson, and here I am talking about Chad Johnson kicking women out of his bed at 1:42 in the morning. What are you gonna do? No, I see him. So why isn't he here? Isn't he here? Yeah, exactly. He's going somewhere. Okay, great. All right, you know what? Then let's just. I mean, come on, dude. Like what? Like Visconti has like Brockers on, all these other guys. Let's do this. Let's just go ahead then and do some big deal or no big deal.
Big deal. Ain't no big deal.
Big deal.
No big deal.
Big deal.
No big deal.
No big deal.
No big deal.
What's going on, y'all? Big deal, no big deal.
Big deal. Did you see who just walked by?
Greg Olson.
Whew.
You Greg Olson fan?
I mean, I wasn't.
You know why they call him Greg the Leg?
Why? No.
He's got
Okay.
three of them
Sorry.
things
Sorry.
there.
I wasn't. I wasn't even listening to what you said. I just was responding.
Have you?
He is much better looking in person.
He's giant.
He's giant.
First off, really, Greg's got that interesting thing where he's got like a beautiful face.
He does. His
And
hair's great.
So I was gonna say, he's like seems like he's kind of balding, but somehow it looks really good. I can't fully explain it. Shout out Greg Olson, one of the best in the game. Greg. I mean, look for. We got Evan. Hey, Evan, what's up, man? Come on, come sit down. Yeah, come take a seat, man. Evan Cohen, host of Unsportsmanlike Conduct every single day on ESPN. Get your day started. He's been the host of the Mad Dog Sports Morning Show in the past. What's up, man? T-Bob Baby, nice to meet you.
Evan Cohen, nice to see you,
man. Hey, so I want to pick your brain a little bit here because, as I said,
that's a mistake. Right off the bat, I have no brain, I don't think. But anyway, go ahead.
Okay, so that's how you made it in the radio game. Because it really so I've been doing this now. I'm about to be 36 on Sunday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. Not to brag. I've been doing like daily radio since I was 23, since like 2013. And here you sit at the pinnacle of the profession, the great set and everything back there. What was the beginning of your journey? I mean, it was what at UW-Madison?
Yes.
I mean, from Madison, then you're like at South Beach, now you're all over the place. What's this journey been like?
It's been awesome. So I'm from New York originally.
Okay.
And I went to University of Wisconsin-Madison, and oddly enough, this is all I ever wanted to do my entire life.
Really?
At 9 years old, I listened to the radio in New York, and I heard Mike and the Mad Dog and Christopher Mad Dog, so I ended up working for 12 years, and I work with again now at ESPN.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's what I want to do. But because you're in it, that how many people in and around Louisiana come up to you and be like, oh, I love sports. I would love to do what you do, right?
Yeah,
all the time. And then my follow-up is always, cool, do you love radio? I'm like, what? Like, do you love radio? Because that's actually what I do for a living. That's what you do for a living. I see what
you're saying. Very good point. Very salient point there.
Everyone loves sports.
Yeah.
Not everyone loves the medium in which you and I are in to deliver the sports conversation that we deliver.
Well, and it's funny because, I remember growing up in Atlanta, and there were the 2 live stews in the afternoon.
They were great. Yep.
I remember Toucher, Jimmy, and Leslie, which is kind of a ribald, shock jock kind of morning show.
Well, I know Steak and Domino.
Oh, bro, Steaks, those are my guys.
Yeah.
Dude. 790 The Zone back in the day, 680 The Fan. But, yeah, to your point, like, how I used to think about morning shows, like those were my guys that kept me company. I loved it. I looked forward to it. And I've never really been cognizant of that. You're right. Like I loved the actual radio itself as an entertainment media.
Well, think about all the people that are listening to you right now, okay? They all obviously love sports or else they wouldn't be tuning in. But there's some part of what you're doing every single day that they love you. Hey, Kevin Agandi. Look how good that guy. He's just so
great.
Cool.
He
unbelievable.
looks like, he always reminds me of Stanley Tucci in The Hunger Games. He's just got
what a compliment, I think.
He's got those dazzling white teeth when he smiles, just like, just bursts onto the scene.
He's so good at what he does. Oh, my God, is he good at what he does.
Well, hey, that's how you all ended up there, dude.
Yeah, well.
But sorry, go on. So you're saying, okay, think about everybody who's listening right now.
Go on, because I'm saying people love you. So that's what but it has to be you, right? It has to be so I see all the LSU gear, right? So people are getting all kinds of LSU information everywhere, but the way in which you're conveying it is different than others, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the whole point.
Well, that's what I tell people all the time, because we're like, bro, Stephen A. Smith's wrong about this. I'm like, guys, it's not about being wrong or right. It's about being entertaining. It's like, do they want to listen to you or not? It's not about being right. I mean, yeah, if you're like a gambling professional, sure, maybe in that sense you need to be right or wrong. But outside of that, dude, no. Can you make people laugh? Can you make people have a good time? Or enrage them, whatever the case may be, right? Do people want to listen to you? And so obviously people do with you, and you've been doing this for so long. When did you feel like, or how did kind of your first big break come about? Like, what was that moment like when you're like, oh, my God, I think like Like, I think I'm actually going to be able to do this.
Yeah, so I think it was getting a phone call December of 2002, okay? So I was at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. No, I lied. No, yeah, December 2002. So I was at UW-Madison and had graduated and started working at ESPN Radio at the time in Madison, Wisconsin. And these two guys who I saw all around campus all the time and all around the Badger events, who owned and ran radio stations, called me out of nowhere, hey, we'd love to have dinner with you tonight. And I was already in radio, and you said, when did things change? Because when did the break happen?
Yeah.
So I was already in radio, and these guys called me, and they said, we're starting a radio station in West Palm Beach, Florida. It was the largest market in the country without an all-sports radio station.
This took place in UW-Madison.
In Beaver Dam, Wisconsin. When you want to talk about the middle of nowhere, that is the middle of nowhere.
How'd they find you?
So I was on a competing radio station. I was doing sports and traffic.
Hell yeah.
Like actually calling in traffic reports.
Teeth. Hell yeah.
So I was the traffic reporter, and interestingly enough, Madison, Wisconsin does not feel like a place where there's a lot of traffic. There's not. So when you're a traffic reporter and you're driving around in a traffic mobile, and it's just like, what Miss Johnson made a left out of her driveway. Back to you, Bob. So they had me come to this dinner. Like, the wining and dining was like a dirty restaurant with 5 people in the restaurant. And they said, we're starting a radio station in West Palm Beach, Florida. It was the largest market in the country without an all-sports radio station dedicated to the market. And we'd like you to be a part of it.
Damn.
And so it's like, you and I have both worked in radio. You're turning 36 on Sunday for a long time. But have you ever started a station from scratch that didn't exist?
No.
So that's the opportunity that I got, and that's what I'm like, okay, I'm either going to, we're either all in or all out on this, because we were doing sales, marketing, everything.
Yeah.
Ironically enough, back to you for a second. The model for that station was 790 in Atlanta.
No way,
which one of the stations you grew up on.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it was already big when I kind of came online. I guess I've never thought about the origins of 790. It was always there for me.
It's not one of these historical stations that was around for 100 years.
True, like
right?
like an 870 here in New Orleans. That's where I got my start. That's you hear
historical
38
station.
states when I've been around 100 years.
Yes,
like you said.
exactly. So that's how it all started, and then everything kind of led to the next thing. I was in West Palm forever. Got a call out of nowhere from Sirius XM to work there with Mad Dog, who I grew up wanting to be like.
That had to be pretty cool.
It was amazing. And then down the hall from Howard Stern, who was the greatest radio host of all time.
Wow.
And then I'm still doing the West Palm stuff as I'm doing that. And then all of a sudden, a year and a half ago, I get a phone call from ESPN Radio that we're starting a show with Chris Canty, Michelle Smallman, and myself with Unsportsmanlike, as you mentioned, and now here at the Super Bowl.
And here at the Super Bowl, okay, real quick on the Super Bowl, then I want to get back to maybe nerding out about radio. I think the storylines are obviously many, and the narratives, I think, are what make any game very interesting. I mean, of course, you have the Chiefs trying to be unparalleled, Mahomes chasing the ghost of Brady and whatnot. I find Jalen Hurts to be fascinating here. 2 years ago, outplays Mahomes, but has the one moment, the fumble, the one moment that he has to now live with for the subsequent 2 years that ends up costing him the title. Here he sits, though, finally with another opportunity. What bone are you chewing on this week? What most interests you in Sunday's game?
I love dominance in sports.
Yeah.
I'm odd like that. I mean, a lot of people hate it. I love following the dynastic teams. And so the Mahomes part of it is what is most exciting to me. And I will say something about the Eagles, okay? Because I think a lot of people have gotten to the place of just dismissing Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Right? And, they found him. And I'm working with ZipRecruiter today, obviously, and they're recruiting different people and talented. Obviously, if you're looking to hire, they're the place. And if you're looking to apply, they're the place. Jalen Hurts was this guy that was had to almost send in the resume, through ZipRecruiter. Hey, I'm a third-round pick or whatever it is, second-round pick.
Yeah.
And we all knew about him in college. You know about him. I mean,
his senior year, if it wasn't for Joe Burrow, would be one of the greatest years of all time. I think he threw for 3,600 yards, over 30 touchdowns, less than 10 picks, 70% completion. He rushed for 1,300. He rushed for 22 touchdowns.
Unbelievable.
But Joe Burrow was there.
And think about Hurts for a second. I am amazed that he got benched in the national championship game and came back the next year.
And then, just again,
because people forget about that. You don't. People forget about there was an Alabama year after the benching before Oklahoma.
Well, it's pre-portal, so he had to graduate to be able to transfer, be eligible immediately. So he stuck around, and then in a wonderful, just high character kind of narrative that played out in the SEC championship, Tua goes down, and he has to come in.
Wait, you just hit on something that's brilliant. Let's talk about this for a second. Hypothetically, Jalen Hurts' career in college started today, okay?
Yeah.
Would he have ever made it to Oklahoma?
I think it would have been a year earlier. I don't know if he ends up at Oklahoma.
Sorry.
I don't think he sticks around for that. And then I don't think they have him in that SEC championship the next year when they would have needed him.
Right. So he would have been benched, would have left after the benching.
Yeah.
Although maybe he wouldn't have been. Maybe he's such a high-character guy. But everyone else would have been.
Not really a
Did we just almost hold hands? Is that what just happened here?
But I don't think it's really a character slight if he would have left.
No,
you know,
I
right?
agree with you. But you brought up a great point because there was no option.
No.
And by the way, back to ZipRecruiter. That's the whole point. If you're looking to apply for different jobs, ZipRecruiter is the powerful matching technology that helps you do that, and that's both for the employer and the employee. ZipRecruiter.
Well, and the other thing about it is, though, it's like, okay, well, also, though, to say that he had to stay doesn't take away from why it's impressive, because it's about how you conduct yourself in the situation that you're in, right?
Correct.
And he conducted himself by staying locked in, not complaining, staying ready, and when his team needed him, he was still there. And football's the ultimate team sport, and that's why, dude, I know, like you said, you love the dynasty, you love the dynastic moments here, but I find Jalen Hurts to be the most sympathetic character in this entire thing.
I agree with you. I think that's a great point.
I would love, and then
I am rooting for him too. I think it's a great point.
A little bit of Sirianni not getting any respect despite the incredible record, but especially
48-20. 48-20, 4 playoff appearances, 2 Super Bowls, ridiculous. Can I ask you one thing on the way out here?
Yeah, let's go.
Is Brian Kelly on the hot seat?
So I said this morning. Financially, LSU's a bit strapped where hot seat is still tough because the buyout's so big. And it's still, it started at $100 million. It's going down like $10 million. He gets the remainder of the contract if that was come fast. But if they cannot contend for a championship this year with the pieces they haven't played, number 1 portal class, 3 top 10 high school recruiting classes in a row, a returning quarterback that's at the top of all the Heisman lists, if you can't compete for a championship this year, then I refuse to believe that you ever will. So, so I don't know about firing, but those are the parameters. He's kind of backed into his last. He's backed into the corner of, do we still believe that he's a top 5, top 10 coach in the entire country?
Excellent point. Love it.
Evan Cohen, Unsportsmanlike, each and every morning on ESPN National. See him right behind us. Evan, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Man. Congrats on all your success. Shout out to ZipRecruiter.
Thank you.
And we'll be back with more Off the Bench next.
Off the Bench.
Off the Bench brought to you by Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. That's right, having a little injury attorney read. That's how you know you're making it. Thank you, man. Get Gordon and get it done. 225-888-8888. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys there for you when you need them. When you need them, well, it kind of sucks when you get in an accident, man. It's a bad time, right? But don't make it a worse time by getting taken advantage of. Get somebody who's going to stand up and fight for you and get you what you deserve, and that's what Gordon McKernan Injury Attorney does. 225-888-8888. Get Gordon and get it done today. You can go to getgordon.com. You can fill out a free consult form right there. They'll get in touch with you immediately. Or follow them on social media at Get Gordon. See a lot of great content with your favorite athletes, members of the G Team. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Get Gordon. Get it done.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
There's never been a better time to catch a John Deere deal from the crew of Sunshine. Ask us about our low monthly payment options on our tractor packages and let the good times roll. With equipment strong enough to power one of the world's largest celebrations, we've got your needs covered too. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Offer ends March 5th, 2025.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep.
The club is full of ballers and their pockets full grown. And all you fellas leave your girl with her friends. Cause it's 11:30 and the club is jumping, jumping. Boys say you got a girl, yeah, it's true, you got a man. But the party ain't gon' stop, so let's make it hot, hot. Last weekend you stayed at home alone and lonely. Couldn't find your man, he was chilling with his homies. This weekend you're going out.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob. Live from Super Bowl 59 Radio Row in New Orleans. Presented by L'Auberge Casino Hotel, Baton Rouge.
Back to OTB. We are live here on Radio Row. Shout out to L'Auberge Casino Hotel in Baton Rouge for having us out here. And shout out to our next guest, man. We got Mike and BJ with me from Sierra Delta. Sierra Delta, we're going to talk about it, tell you exactly what it's about, but it's an organization that seeks to help veterans, provide them with service dogs and multiple other resources. If you want to get involved, which by the end of the interview I'm sure you will, you go to sierradelta.com. Mike, BJ, what's going on, man? How we doing today?
Good, man. How about yourself?
Doing great. Exciting, man. Radio Row, this is my first Radio Row. I've never been out here. Yeah,
that's why
man.
you like super hyped at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Well, and like that, bro. I mean, you know, I get up early. I drink a ton of coffee and I yell. That's basically my
I was like, man, this dude is looking at my watch like, is it 12?
He got that espresso Mark Fucro had.
Oh man. Okay, so let's talk about Sierra Delta. Give me the basic rundown of how the organization came about and what your goals are.
So I served the United States Marine Corps from 1996 till I was injured in Iraq in 2004, retired out of 2005. Did all the stereotypical veteran things, got in trouble with the law, drinking too much. Thought I should have died that night. When I was rationalizing out in that moment of desperation, it was my dog. It was an old English bulldog, the one that I knew that he wouldn't be better off if I wasn't here anymore. He'd end up in a shelter and be killed like the other 800,000 healthy, trainable, and adoptable dogs in this country. And so that was enough purpose, enough reason for me to see through that depression and start putting one foot in front of the other, whether it was the flesh and blood foot given by God or the carbon fiber and steel foot given by science. But we ended up starting in 2017. We focused on service dogs at first, but then I looked around at how this was being done. And there was so much waste. There was so much overregulation when 99% of the veterans out here, we don't need an ADA medical assistance service dog. Right? But dogs and humans have been working together for 35,000 years.
True.
There's tons of dog trainers out there. There's tons of dogs out there. And there's tons of ways you can work with your dog to enhance or improve your life. And what we miss from the military is being a part of a team. Now, people are complicated. But dogs, man, they love you unconditionally. They're always ready. So if we can train the veterans and the dogs to shed hunt, mushroom hunt, agility courses, dock diving, whatever they want to do, service dog work, yeah. Sierra Delta will provide not only the education and the community around that, but up to $3,500 in training grants.
That's incredible, man.
We take no government money, so we need everybody out there that wants to donate, help businesses. Like one of our best partnerships is with Blue Buffalo and Walmart. They run an annual campaign that generates $600,000 for us every year. And they tell us every time they do a campaign with Sierra Delta, and we feature vets like Michael Smith and everybody else and their dogs, we exceed their best sales expectations by double digits.
Damn, dude. Wait, so then what's your story, man? How did you get involved with Sierra Delta?
Yeah, so first I did 24 years in the Army.
Damn, guys.
It's always got to one-up somebody, doesn't
obviously. I know, I was doing the math. I was like, okay, wait, what was it? 90,
because he did 11 without his arm, too.
So, yeah, I did the
way.
last half of my career was without my arm. So, and then I do some professional triathlon. I'm a professional cyclist. So,
Olympic
BJ,
status.
Yeah, Olympic status. But
Yeah.
I met BJ. We was doing a Wounded Warrior amputee football team. And, he kept telling me I needed a dog. And I was like, yeah, bro, I'm good.
Yeah.
I didn't grow up with pets, so I was like, nah, I'm cool. And it wasn't until he pretty much forced them into my life. That's when I realized, like, dang, I didn't even know I needed it until I got it.
It's like you get a hug. You're like, oh, my God, how long it's been since
Yeah,
I had a hug.
And it's funny because I used to make fun of the people. You see the people getting licked in the face and dog hair everywhere.
Yeah.
I used to make fun of those people, and here I am. Now I'm one of them.
Right.
Yeah, behind closed doors, though. So.
But it's cool. Zeus is his dog, and his dog, so he does triathlon. Right now he's just focusing on Olympic biking. But Zeus is trained to run next to him when he's biking, run next to him when he's running, and when he's in the pool, Zeus just hangs out on the deck as he swims.
That's cool.
Me and Zeus, we've done over 3 marathons together.
Wait, so Mike, so he's telling you you're buddy. He's like, hey man, you need to get involved, and then. So all of a sudden a dog enters your life.
Right.
Like, oh my God, this is incredible.
Right.
And then were you just inspired to kind of get the word out there to other veterans? And
I
other
was,
people
man, because it changed my life in such a impactful way. You know what I'm saying? Like, who am I not to pay that forward? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and so me and BJ were friends long before that, and we talk a lot. And I just told him, man, like, bro, whatever you need from me, whatever we could do together. And he always reminds me, like, bro, this is not my thing. This is our thing. So
all the veterans.
So
our core values spell EPIC. It's empowerment, purpose, innovation, and community. Community is the most important, right? People might not be able to understand what we did in the military, even though I'll tell people all the time, joining the military is like painting by numbers. Anybody can do it.
Yeah.
Right? You just have to have the commitment. But, you can understand that relationship with a dog. Right, 68% of American households have a dog in it.
True.
Right, so let's build a community around that. Let's not talk about disabilities. Like, we're having these struggles in the veteran community, and I've been an advocate now. I got injured in 04, retired in 05, like 16, 18 years.
Yeah.
And I promise you, the number one reason why we're struggling so hard in the veteran community is how we deliver services to them.
Yeah.
So So expound on that, because that was actually going to be my next question. BJ, is like, what do y'all think is the number one issue? So what do you mean by and how we're delivering services to them?
So the VA.
So it's not like an overall go
All right.
ahead.
So the VA, they get $500 billion annually in budget. There's 18 million veterans. Can you tell me the percentage of how many veterans they take care of annually?
Well, yeah, that doesn't make any. I mean, that would feel like that's more than enough. I mean, right? That's like more.
They only service 30% of the veterans.
What?
We're not guaranteed health care. Everybody thinks we're guaranteed health care.
You're not guaranteed health care for life?
You only get it for 1 year unless you file for a disability.
What?
Right. And then your family's not entitled to health care unless you retire or you get to 100%.
Oh, my God.
So if you're not missing, and even like when I left Walter Reed, I was blown up, lost 5 friends, had retained shrapnel, lost a leg. I left there at 50%. It took me 8 years to get to 100%. It took me to get a master's degree from USC and an emphasis on military life and social work. It took me becoming an accredited veteran benefit officer to understand the system. Right? So losing your leg below the knee is a 40% max rating. Losing it above the knee is a 60% max rating. Contracting genital herpes is a 60% rating.
You get
Having
more for herpes.
sleep apnea is a 50%
There
rating.
ain't no way.
It is. But then you look at the nonprofits too, right? And I love them. There's a lot of good ones. Like 70,000 veteran-centric nonprofits. There's only 18 million veterans, 12 million of which are 55 and older. 4 million of that 12 million is 75 and older. We're shrinking. But yet all these nonprofits, the majority of them are like, you have to be post 9/11. You have to have a rating. You have to have been combat. You have to be this. You have to be that. And yet everybody keeps saying, veterans, you deserve everything. But when we come, we finally get to that point to ask for help. There's conditions to that.
Always, yeah.
But and you wonder why you see like
unlike
a whole
the dogs.
Yeah. you like I used to be one of those ones, like, man, how did you serve so much time and you're homeless or you're ending up in a shelter? For these very reasons, right?
Yes.
Here, for these very reasons
right.
that BJ is talking about. I did over 20, and you would think like doing over 20 with one arm, and I also have one kidney.
What?
You know what I mean? And
yeah,
that,
you should be taken care of for the rest of your life.
Right.
For,
you would think
for
so.
what you sacrificed for the richest country on planet Earth, you should be taken care of. Your entire life.
Listen to this. Now, we did this willingly. I joined the Marine Corps, right? That's United States Marine Corps, USMC. USMC also stands for you signed the mother effing contract, right? So I'm not saying we're entitled, and I don't want people to feel forced. That's why I don't say, if you're not patriotic, that's not my problem, right? It's like if you don't believe in God, that's not my problem, right? But I want to inspire people to want to invest in this community. And I want these veterans to understand, quit being the victim. Quit asking for a handout. Show the strength that you have. You have all the agency you need to overcome these disabilities. Damn the VA. Most of these guys won't get better because they're afraid they'll lose their benefits. If some VA raider says that they're better, they'll lose their money. They'll lose their medical care for their families. So we have purposely incentivized these men and women not to get better.
Yeah.
It's like they're following the 10 crack commandments.
It's so crazy. So like I served after I lost my arm. Everybody was like, man, why'd you stay in so long and you could have just got out then, you know, and got medical retirement?
Yeah.
I was scared shitless to get out.
Yeah.
I was scared because I didn't know what was going to happen to my life.
Yeah,
and
man.
I was like, you know what? I better collect this active duty paycheck for as long as I can, because once I'm out, you're kind of like on your own. If you don't know how to fend for yourself, or if you don't know somebody, it's that old saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
I mean, think about this.
Your whole life in this one environment. You
right.
know, you grow up in this environment, and all of a sudden, it's a very controlled, very teamwork, like you said, and then what? You're just like cast out? Like just cast out.
Well, that's my problem. It's like, why do we have the Department of Defense that when we come in, we raise our right hand, you know, we go to them, but when we get hurt or we're done, they just ship us off to the VA?
Yeah.
Like, why doesn't the DOD own us from the moment we pledge our allegiance until we die?
Yeah, man.
They get almost how many trillions of dollars that are unaccounted
they
for?
They get all the money.
Right?
Military-industrial complex is the hell of a thing,
right? So it's, you know, that's why we don't take any government money. We never will. But I think the government is the problem. And I believe in the American people. Yeah. And that's why we're calling to them and like, we're not begging. I don't want to pull your heartstrings. I think everybody else has pulled the heartstrings out of this country. Like, we're not here saying that we're needy. The only people I say I'm disabled to is to the VA and the IRS.
Yep.
Right. Other than that, there ain't nothing I can't do on this foot.
Well, and that's what's incredible, BJ and Mike. It's like, you talk about taking initiative. You talk about saying, you know, no, I'm going to kind of claim my life back. You went and got a master's.
Right.
You're in the Olympics. Like, you guys are shining examples of this. And it's very cool what you're doing with Sierra Delta, man. I can't thank y'all enough for your service, and I can't thank y'all enough for coming by today, man.
Hey, man, thanks for giving us the platform. This is how we're going to get the word out.
Absolutely, man. Guys, go to SierraDelta.com if you want to get involved. Again, we can't thank you enough. Thank you, guys. We'll be back with more Off the Bench coming up next.
Appreciate it.
Off the Bench.
Day here on OTB. We are brought to you by our friends at All-Star Toyota. Go to allstartoyotabatonrouge.com, allstartoyotabatonrouge.com. All-Star is there for you when you need them. Go to All-Star Toyota and look, you need a brand new vehicle, you need a Toyota certified used vehicle, you need anything, All-Star has your back. They got Miss Lee Sessions there in the rental department, get you good to go with cheaper per day rental prices than traditional rental companies. And remember, you're talking about Collision Center, Service Center. It's not just All-Star Toyotas, any make and model. Go to allstartoyotabatonrouge.com today.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
There's never been a better time to catch a John Deere deal from the crew of Sunshine. Ask us about our low monthly payment options on our tractor packages and let the good times roll. With equipment strong enough to power one of the world's largest celebrations, we've got your needs covered too. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Live from Super Bowl 59 Radio Row in New Orleans. Presented by L'Auberge Casino Hotel, Baton Rouge.
I'm a radio professional, guys. I promise, okay? I know exactly what I'm doing. And what I'm doing right now is talking to one of my favorite people ever. Used to be a weekly guest of Off the Bench back in the day. Used to be a guy that really helped me out, brought me up in this business. We worked at WWL together. Saints legend, Ole Miss legend, the man, and, you know, looking very skinny nowadays, guys. Deuce McAllister. Deuce, what's up, brother?
T-Bob, I don't know if this was a good decision.
What?
For them to allow us to be able to get together in New Orleans, Super Bowl week. Yes. You know, the best part about it, though, I will say, is we're not amongst the street. If we were on the street right now, I don't know how much work we would be getting done. So I don't know how much work we're going to get done now in this segment.
Deuce wants to get a little freaky, guys.
You see what I'm saying? And so
I'm in.
Then I'm
going to ask you this.
We're going to keep it PG.
No, we're not. I'm going to ask you this.
As much as possible.
I'm going to ask you this, Deuce. Chad Johnson, this morning, 1:42 a.m., tweeted, "I've ended up with a young lady in my bed, and I don't want to be rude. How do I ask her to leave politely?"
She's got to go.
But how do you ask her to leave, kid, without her getting upset? Like, what's your play there?
Security says there's an issue on this floor, and, you know, we have to basically leave the premises. I don't know how we ended up in this situation, but, you know, I don't want that to escalate any better, so I guess we gotta listen to security.
So you're going with the fake fire drill?
Hey, you gotta pull it. You got to pull it. I mean,
you have more experience than I do.
Hey,
that seems a little bold, dude.
In situations like that, at what time in the morning?
1:42 a.m.
So it's not getting any earlier.
No. That's true. Fire drill actually does play in the middle of the night potentially because, it's one of the only things that could actually happen that could cause everybody to have to leave the room. Hey, Deuce, Ole Miss is pretty damn good this year, Bo. Not good enough to beat LSU, though, were they?
Not good enough to beat LSU. Probably the most frustrating. One of the most frustrating games because you had opportunities. You had opportunities, but you kind of got greedy, particularly in the first half.
Yeah.
And you knew, and I do as well, playing in that stadium at night, and the Tigers, just that confidence is going to come. And if you don't kind of put that game at least somewhat out of reach early on, or at least put them up 14 points.
Yeah.
The closer it gets to the third and fourth quarter, and if that game is close,
you let the stadium come alive.
It's good night. Good night, Susie.
And the same thing's going to be the case when LSU goes to Oxford next year.
But you have a quarterback that's coming back that has a ton of experience.
I know.
And
so they should be good.
No, but that's what I'm saying. And in the SEC, when you have that, and then you look at the weapons on the outside, LSU didn't run the ball as well as they should have this year, particularly with we'll just call it 2 tackles that will be one should be a top 10 and one will be probably still first rounder.
Yeah.
When you have that type of talent,
you should dominate. It's crazy.
I mean,
Dude,
so you got.
If you were running behind that, if you were on this LSU team, they probably wouldn't win a championship.
It doesn't have to. It could be you running back there. I mean, it's just like T-Bob. The holes are there. You have too much experience outside in the tight end position, and so that was probably the biggest first surprise because your defense played well enough, even with the injuries.
I know.
Even with the injuries that you had, and so it's always intriguing. And I had the opportunity to talk to some of the guys. Look how much college football has changed.
True,
I mean, it's always been semi-pro NFL, but it is like AAA.
These boys getting paid now.
It's AAA. It's AAA. It's AAA, and so
it's AAA, but with actual money. Think about it. Minor league baseball players don't make anything.
They're all first rounders.
Yeah.
No, the first rounders make
true. Yes,
they're all first rounders in AAA. I mean, and so they are all. The parking lot is a lot different. I'll put it that way. The parking lot is a lot different. It used to be, you got the Hellcats
beat up
and the
Tacomas.
No, no more of that, baby. No more of that.
Dude, so you are promoting a healthy lifestyle, right? In general, for everybody, NFL guys. Everything. You look great, man. You look really good. Like you've been dropping them LBs, man.
You look fantastic as well.
Shout out to Balvin Rivers.
So Rivers has done a great job.
Yep.
And so that's what it's about. I mean, it's just like, not only from football players, but, Americans in general. You talk about when you look at the numbers and the stats, it's like, whoa. We got to do a better job.
Pretty fat.
We got to do a better job.
Louisiana especially, we're pretty fat.
I mean, so from an obesity standpoint, just making sure that we can, from the water, I saw you have some water over there. I'm proud of you. Now you just got to drink it. You got to use it.
Yeah, bro, I'm a water electrolytes guy.
Yeah,
no soda or anything.
So I like that. And so just making sure from an American standpoint, we do a little bit better job at it. And for me, it's just really encouragement. It doesn't have to be perfect. So if you miss one of your workout days, it's okay.
Yes.
You just got to make sure that you go the next day.
You can't that is so true. It's like you can't let the guilt compound and then make the situation. Just do it. Just don't think about the big picture. Focus on what's in your face. Just get it done that day.
Well, and another part of it, T-Bob, is, start with 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Hey, don't worry about the hour workout. Just start with 10 minutes. Start with a 10-minute workout.
Deuce, I love you, man. But
so you kicking me off?
Yeah, we got to go. I love you. Give me a hug.
So you got no. It's PG.
Shout out to Main Event in Baton Rouge. My guys at Main Event, and check out at Main Event Baton Rouge, your headquarters from. We love our educators, and nobody deserves more fun than our educators. Why Main Event is throwing a complimentary appreciation party. We're calling all school teachers, administrators, and coaches to attend this free event in honor of your hard work and dedication to your students. The celebration is our way of saying thank you for all that you do and the positive impact you have on the community. It's going down Thursday, February 13th, 2024, 4 to 6 p.m. So unlimited activities, 60 minutes of free gameplay, the Game Changer Banquet, learn about Play Academy, the accredited STEM curriculum program with lesson plans included, plus reward-based trips to bring the best of learning and playing to kids. Shout out to Main Event. Shout out to our educators. Shout out to you, Deuce.
That's a pre-Valentine deal that they can go and do.
There you go, bro. Right before Valentine's Day. Get it right, February 13th. More OTB tomorrow.
Off the bench.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of